I don't know why that camera's not working. I'm going to have to diagnose that and figure that out real quick. Oh, Lord. Work. Something just happened. Oh, nope, 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 nope. Green screen camera. Da 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 da. Don't care. Don't care. Da 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 da. PUBG Americas Series 5 Group Stage Day 1. Let's get after. What are we? Oh. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna add. I'm gonna go here. Go. Nah. I want to go here. Make my camera real small, out of the way, and then watch these guys play. You know.
Latin America, do you think that they're going to be able to step in very quickly, or do you feel like we've already started to see too much talent start to run away just with the core talent that we've already got coming out of Latin America?
Well, the weird thing about Latin America, and this was true from the beginning, is that they were always very unreliable.
We've got really Rello and Roth
On the top hill. They're
taper off as we head into game here. And so I'm curious again, are we going to see that with some of these teams? You know, it's a fresh faces, fresh start. Everyone's hyped. They want to work together. The team dynamic is like, all right, we all have a common goal. And in the beginning, generally it does work, but I want to see who is actually going to be able to maintain that level of consistency throughout the year and not just the first event of the year.
You guys, take it away. We've got game number 1 up in the air with this.
Just a reminder, Team Falcons is now the Sonics roster from last year. So in the Falcons, Sonics disbanded, and Team Sonics is now the Falcons.
hot drop between 55 and Luminosity. This is Miramar, so seeing a hot drop add Power Grid is not a surprise at all. But it's I wouldn't have expected these two teams to go at it so immediately.
Yeah, I mean, but it is the first drop of it's the first game, right? If you're going to test anything, if you really want to just try to see where you're at, or if you want to get aggressive and set the tone, I don't mind this. Again, I have always been a very anti-advocate for hot dropping, but in a situation like this, it's not the worst. I'm fine with it. I'm okay with this.
Listen, you say that, but there is a distinct game from 2019 that I remember that does say otherwise, but it has been a while.
Okay.
So, oh my god, wait a second, hold that thought. No need to respond, no need to respond. We have some shots coming out from Baki onto Snakers, both players going for the flank.
Yeah, Snaker's caught in a somewhat precarious position here. He's stuck on his
thought
left. You see his
Snakers
teammate trying
retired.
to provide some sort of cover, but Baki has just the most open angles on Snakers, and if they can lock him down, They can potentially lock down Vox, who's also trying to support that nade. It's not going to do damage, but Snakers, again, no heals. This is a very early looting phase fight.
Really good cover by the teammate. 4x on a MK is a really powerful weapon to have here, but another rush coming down. Everyone's rotating counterclockwise from Luminosity, trying to lock down this lane. Bizzler's running back, though, to make sure that they can anchor that left position. No one on 55 is really going aggressive. There are so many open spots in Power Grid that it does make it difficult to go on full-on pushes if you're not trying to sneak through. And I'm going to be looking at Fakes in
Snakers
or Fake
retired,
Woo,
but apparently
they're called
he's
Fake Woo, yeah.
He's playing some
Flash comes in,
matches.
push comes down, and we do see circle number 1 pulled pretty far away from this position, so that's only going to up the momentum on this fight even further.
Yeah, they don't have to go too far, but they do need to conclude this fight as quickly as possible. As you see, I actually like the way the 55 has been playing this, right? They've set up a perimeter. They basically cut off all the rotations towards the west side of Power Grid, and they're slowly starting to close in on LG. But LG, to their credit, also have managed to actually pick up multiple angles they can hold this from and set their own traps. So it's really going to be about who's going to execute this better. Is 55 going to get ahead of themselves, or will they find the first knock?
I wonder what.
As you can see, LG doesn't have a lot to work with, and I'm sure 55 probably is in the same boat, Cam.
That's really close.
Yeah.
Maybe his POV's far.
This Tommy gun, it can do damage at close range, especially if Vox gets the jump on them. That Molly goes out. I don't think it really lands. Yeah, no, Vox is still holding that position. More utility. They really got to go on this push. They want to take Luminosity out.
Yeah, and meanwhile, on the map, we do have a redeploy already starting early. So teams trying to get into the circle. Again, this is centered around Leonis. Gats looking for the angles. It looks like they have a knock. Okay, so it looks like Luminosity struck first blood. They should be able to get that res. But again, the longer this fight goes on, the worse it is for both teams, especially if you have third-party situations where teams are going to hear this fight and try to capitalize.
That's a great angle, but I think the timing of the crouch, uncrouch, the prone, unprone hurt them with the M249. Angle with the AK, but Snakers is faster with the Scar, and then Fox comes swinging around the opposite side. Luminosity have a major advantage in this fight now that it is finally broken out. It's all onto Fake with the M249, but there is another squad trolling in from the north.
Yeah, like I said, the longer the fight goes on, it's like dinner bells ringing for all the teams around, and so the rotations are coming in, but it looks like LG already cleaning up, and yeah, it's going to be Fake Uwu to just get out of there. 55 will be the first ones to take casualties, but maybe he can salvage this as a solo, but nice job on LG's part to recognize that they were getting pinched, spread out a little more, find those angles that are going to be more beneficial, and yeah, really take care of this this hot drop early. But Goon, as you said, they're knocking on the door.
Yeah. Bunt taking point there, at least on the east side. They are just rushing it down. They were able to use the cover of the so luckily timed Sandstorm to get close in, but it looks like Luminosity aren't going to be falling too much prey to that. They're still hiding out in these warehouses. There are some vehicles coming around the east, but Luminosity, they are looking for the last player. I'm still not sure if they are aware of Goon or not. That's the big question that I have.
Yeah, I'm not sure they spotted them. I mean, they know that 55 has one member left, and they're looking for him. So what I think is going to happen here is they'll probably end up finding out that there is another squad here. Goon, try to back off. Because, again, this is, you know, they did win the hot drop, but this is the issue when you do hot drop is they don't have vehicles. Potentially their gear is very much hurting. Utility, barely any meds. You don't see any first aids on Bizzler. So, yeah, this is the price of a hot drop, whether you win or lose sometimes. And yeah. Now they also have, you know, a whole nother team potentially trying to hold them out here.
But hey, upside, if they win the fight, even if it's only 2 or 3 of them, then that's even more points. But however, we can see it now. Bunt, Simply Matt, they are taking those vehicles away. That's going to make rotations incredibly difficult for Luminosity. They have 3 that they were able to take from Power Grid. I don't know if they entered with any of their own, and I don't think there are going to be any more for Luminosity or even Fake to take. So thankfully, Circle 1 isn't all that far, but that open cross through Mikado on foot is going to be incredibly difficult. There's not that many threats around that area. It's just, looking ahead, Luminosity is going to be difficult for them to find many opportunities for points, and I think they're going to have to hope for a really, really lucky Phase 2 and Phase 3 shift up towards their position, likely towards the north.
Yeah, worst case, I mean, they just go to San Martin, right? Look for vehicles there. There's plenty of spawns. But yeah, crossing any of that terrain currently, especially if it shifts south on foot, is obviously just not it. So they're going to start heading down these dirt roads looking for vehicle spawns. Meanwhile, Goon is starting to rotate in. And now we are moving on over to a fight that's actually happening in the circle here, as some shots are being taken over towards Haven and Kraken side.
Yeah.
El Proyecto.
Yeah, El Proyecto, they got Gizera on it, so already just by that name alone is a team to look at with some good,
So it would just be an EU.
good talent there. But rotating through
Not
Chumacera, we saw them rotate
North
past Power
America
Grid a
and
couple of
South
moments
America.
ago. They run into
gonna
working
be
in
a
silence, but they're going to stall that one out. This is the early game of Miramar, so I don't
Ping
expect too
issues or
much
not.
more action to be happening. Certainly not until phase 1 is fully closed. But Rello, a nice little angle overlooking dots, could find a quick little knock. I would be shocked if he had an opportunity to finish the kill. But hey, tires, listen, we love taking tires. If you can't get a knock, if you can't get a kill, tires are the next best thing.
Well, especially in a circle like this, depending on where it shifts, right? Like, there's a lot of open space here to the southwest, so if you are left without a vehicle, it's just miserable days for those rotations. But, yeah. As you said, Alcancia is doing what they do as far as what we've seen Rello, right? They have a nice
so
split. They have a
Rello,
lot of
Cowboy,
control.
and
Again,
Roth
Roth as
are on
well,
this
when he
one.
used to IGL, loved to split his team up,
So
take as much space as
Rello
possible,
and
control
Roth
it. That way, when
are
it comes time for
former-
rotations or it comes time
Rello and
for
Ralph are
consolidation,
former
they're ready to go.
Falcons
So now
players.
moving over to working in silence. Again, a team that impressed me greatly in the few events that we did see them in last year, and they're back. And better than ever, they even have RBN on that squad.
Right. Shots coming out from Souls. Can't land, but at that range, we're not going to hold that against them. And some good covering fire as well from the other teammates of El Protecto up on the top hill. They're just trying to make their way down from Chumacera. It's a nice position, but it is so close towards the edge. The chances of it remaining a decent position, even like an okay position, much later into the game is very, very low. But Stilson, he's actually getting pushed. Sorry, the colors are so similar. I thought it was the same team. No, Stilson's getting pushed by Gooners. They are constantly looking for fights. They haven't found any victims yet, but they're gonna, golly, they're gonna keep looking.
Yeah, Silson putting himself in a very interesting situation. Again, I don't blame you at all for confusing the greens, the shades. It's happened before. It'll happen again. Made that mistake many times, Cameron, but we're not going to talk about it. As Goon now starting to make that push up the stairs. Now, they are clearing... Yeah, shotguns. I was going to say, they probably want to maybe pick up a shotgun to clear up that top floor, but it looks like they're switching back, and they might even decide to get out of this building altogether. Because pushing in this, even as a squad against a solo or even a duo at the top of those stairs, Cammy, it's just not it.
Yeah.
It's so dangerous.
Yeah, exactly. Also, phase 2 about to lock in. It is going to be a medium hard shift back to the northwest. So all that open space between Chumacera and Los Leones is going to be the center of the map. Now, good for Luminosity coming in from the north. They were able to find at least one vehicle, and there was so much empty space for them to try and claim. They are in a little bit of a race still because there's going to be a lot of teams rotating. We already saw on the map some rotations coming around the east side. Zvire potentially.
Dando, hot and spicy.
Going that direction. Circle from the north, but
A good shot.
A really nice knock onto RBN. Clean and gonna go for more.
Welcome back, Shrooms. Welcome back. New logo, new team, same great player. Absolutely cracked.
Yeah.
Shrimsy is going to find the one. As you said, RBN will go down. And something else to note is I was just looking at the circle before Shrimsy, did what he does best. There is so much room to play on the north side of this. I mean, it is really just LG up there, and there is a massive clump of teams that are currently trying to get in on the east side, which is going to cause many issues, I presume.
Yeah. Falcons still looking at working in Silence's position. But Falcons are in a great spot already. This part of Miramar, you got to manage like exactly which ridge you hide behind, because there are a lot of different options there of how exactly you want to hold your position. But, you just got to make sure you're not overextending, and you got to play it smart, right? But here, it's going to be Al, Khadizia, pushed by Zvire. Both teams going around both corners in that upper northern cut into the circle, but they're running into each other. Grenade hold, here's footsteps. A nice little frag grenade goes out, follow up with the shot. It's going to be a quick knock on Afari.
Yeah, and I like that from Roth, right? He took his time, he threw the grenade, he got the peek, and he didn't overstay. He didn't try to flush immediately, put his head down. Again, no overextensions, especially when you're one of those players that is playing point for your team, you're playing anchor. Overextensions can often be the death or just downfall of your team just getting picked apart. Once you go down, and Rello, speaking of which, is going to find Cloudera. That's going to be another knock there for Alcadia.
I mean, you can just see the position of how Alcadizia took this fight against Zvire. I'm going to assume that Zvire weren't that aware of Al's positioning, because coming in from the low ground on that ridge, all stacked up like that, they were walking essentially into a mousetrap that closed on them really, really effectively. It's all under Rybo trying to drive away and find some place to survive in.
Yeah, it looks like Goon is just going from 1-5 stack to the next, Cammy, as they're starting to assault a second one. This time it's going to be with potentially dangerous. They will, lose 2. Nice play there from It's. Beautiful little double there. A grenade to try to cap it off. Oh, he throws it in. Does he find it? Not quite, but It's holding it down for his squad.
Yeah, really good job by potentially dangerous here. That crossfire that they had set up was so powerful. You can see the major damage it dealt to Goon.
They know exactly where he is. I love this util. Flash is coming out. Oh, he vaulted out. And it doesn't matter. Theros is going to find him. So, again, nice hold from potentially dangerous. Very clean. 1 kill apiece. You love to see.
All right, so the Goons, they were risking. They were risky. They were push.
There were so many
and then at the end they got
not just by potentially dangerous.
And they didn't make it to
all around this Los
first team
Leones
eliminated.
area. West side of Los Leones is a lot of wide open angles. You just got to be really, really protective of
Circle
that.
Love is favoring
Mostly
Falcons right now.
Towards the west, and again, we're going to keep our eyes on Falcons and working in silence to manage these central positions.
Yeah, and getting center circle like Falcons did is great, right? But it is going to invite a lot of teams to start to encroach on your position at, whether it's north, south, east, west. You're going to start getting a situation where you're pinched. So we'll see how Falcons deal with that. I imagine they'll be just fine, but there is always that threat, especially when you're dead center. And there is, again, just so much open space on their west side. The problem, though, for the other teams and the benefit to Falcons being center here is that it's really hard to push that.
Oh, there's Mom's on Bestia, I guess, huh?
Meanwhile, there's multiple teams, Cam, that have to get out of Leonis.
A lot here. Empire being pushed by Firefly. Valley 8.
Oh, this roster.
Old school player. Valley 8's back.
This
and
roster,
he's
man.
now down.
We have to talk about it, right? Of course, as soon as we talk about it. I'm saying as soon as we talk about it, Valley goes down. So, yes, Michael will get out of there. But, yeah, these are familiar faces again. We've seen so many shuffles. We've seen some old players return. God Squad, for me, is exciting. that is some old school.
What's happening with Bestia? Okay. They landed the vehicle. It's fine. They didn't die. So they were able to, I don't know if it was strategy or just pure happenstance, find a little bit of an opening through that Firefly Empire back and forth footsie game to find a nice little spot on the low ground there.
I don't know about you, but to me that looked like a very planned, very well-executed kickflip. So I'm with it.
How many points is that? Like
kickflip on the internet shit.
I didn't know we were sliding points.
What multiplier?
Forever.
I don't know how these games work.
Forever, though. Coming in with a airdrop, and they're going to be right above I just did it. Falcons.
It's hard.
And they're actually just going to cruise all the way to the edge. I like this. I mean, I'm sure they saw the Falcons players, but they just realized if we can get something on the edge, control it, then move in inch by inch rather than take an early fight. But this is going to be contested immediately.
Yeah, so Tito are also pulling up at the same time. Luckily for Ever, they get the roof. So that's going to give them a big advantage here, the roof of the church. But the spread that Sir Tito have is also looking strong. But Scooby with some good damage on the Boris. Boris is going to continue down to 1 HP. Okay, down to 0. I was going to say, but traded. Robert takes, Scooby takes Boris. Robert takes Scooby. Bit of a back and forth here.
Yeah, and again, this is the importance of timing. Had Sir Tito got there just slightly before, they would have actually had the advantage, and Forever still would have been landing. But because they were able to land, they actually just halted Sir Tito's stop, pushed completely, and now they are on the back foot. They're going to have to rotate out. Blue is also starting to come in, so they have a wide wrap. I'm really glad they actually have an anchor down towards the southwest that they'll be able to get past as long as they just survive the shots coming out from Forever. But it looks like they are going to manage to actually get out, so good on them to recognize that. But again, it's a game of inches and timing when it comes to PUBG. Those few seconds can completely shift the fight in your favor.
Now this next circle is going to shift out of Los Leones.
Next circle is going to favor the spot in between Falcons and Empire. Dots on the south trying to hold the southern angle. facing off against Outlaws. But like they're not in the zone themselves. We're really gonna start to see teams get punished by the amount of open space. There's a huge collection of compounds to the east. Working in silence, you're able to find some hard cover position to play on the north.
Oof.
That center position on those hilltops is gonna be
The
wild.
dragon off
There's
is
some dips
nasty.
to play
You can
in,
land your
but
shots.
They're really not gonna be that comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, that's why it's exactly why you don't see pretty much any players in the center of the circle anywhere near the south. Like you said, there are some, dips and defilades that you can somewhat play, especially if you have a vehicle, but it's just not ideal. It's not ideal at all. So most of the teams that are currently sitting on the edge will have very big problems when it comes to rotating in and getting out. Meanwhile, Sortito, again, finding footing, but once again caught out of circle as it shifts.
Yeah. Well, their pathing into the zone right now is the right choice for what they have to play with. They're able to find this little compound, hold out forever, and potentially Outlaws towards the south, and then slowly work their way up that ridge into Falcons territory, just hoping that there aren't that many open angles across the other side in Los Leonos or even towards the north, where, again, we see Working in Silence and then Luminosity even further than that. But this is the time that, like, macro isn't really a thing anymore. It's all about just playing bit by bit, piece into piece, bounding forward, playing leapfrog, and El Proyecto, they are just getting themselves in a vehicle and they're trying to rush on in.
Yeah, and Forever also seems to be very split after that initial engagement with Sortito, where they did quite well to stave them off, and so now potentially dangerous, and yet another fight. Rella will fall. Alcadecia in a little bit of trouble. Theros, though, stopping that, halting it immediately, and now it's up to the rest of the team, but there's a trade. DIY onto Ace.
Ooh, good blue zone. DIY, nice counter utility.
Oh!
But Theros, wait, does he know? He had no clue Cowboy was in the same building with him. This is a kerfuffle. We got Luminosity swinging on in. They're probably going to
play,
go
boys.
because I see Vox already pitted in the center of the zone. But no,
That's a
Luminosity
squad right
going
there.
to try and clear the space out and get these points, those tasty, tasty points.
And the problem is Luminosity has lost multiple members. That grenade will do exactly what it was meant. It will knock Bizzler.
Grenade.
And now it's just down to Gats. As multiple utilities starting to rain down on him. You see his smoke there as well as Molly's. He's going to get knocked from behind. And now it's just up to Vox to salvage this game as we head into Phase 5 here.
Honestly, I don't know who I favor more, Vox salvaging or any of these players on the north, because there are so many teams with sight lines on each other here. Slabby with a really good angle to take a Luminosity out. I don't think Luminosity would have had any reason to expect that potentially Dangerous had players up here. And the revive onto Gabby is also going to be locking itself in. But Alcadecia, 5 kills, all 4 up. Making it across that road into Vox's position is going to be difficult, but already this is a relatively successful game so far.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
This
you
is a
take
real
what you can get,
successful
right?
game.
They've been in a few fights. They've been rotating off of edge now. They still have to rotate off of the edge, but they've managed to pick up 5 kills, keep all 4 members healthy. So even if their next engagement was a bust, the fact that they've been able to maintain this game and this pace has been great for them. And
Get hard into that corner.
Realistically, there's only one player that's going to be standing in their way. And
Is
that
he going to
Vox. Now,
get
they will have
crashed?
To deal with
Oh,
working
no.
on the north side, but as long as they can start that engagement off correctly and
Sure did.
be the ones to be the aggressors, they'll be just fine. As we now look at Dot starting to get in a firefight with fire, as Frost try to stay alive, but no, it's going to be Shane Doe to put him down.
Yeah, that should have been a much better hold by the other members of Firefly, but I think one of them got knocked, and so that disrupted that crossfire there. And now Frost, as we saw, got eliminated. Vox got a kill before going down, but Alcadecia now taking that spot, getting in front of Working in Silence. Can they hold this position out? We all know these dips. They feel good to play, but they are just asking to get grenaded.
Yeah, I mean, those dips, again, are good for both sides, right? Because it is harder to grenade, especially on the slope of the opposite ends of this ridge on either side of the road. But Working in Silence as a 2-man has already done a pretty decent amount of damage to Alcadecia. But here's the problem. They're only a 2-man, right? And they now have to deal with some members of Potentially Dangerous starting to push towards that north side. If they can crest, that's going to be trouble. Meanwhile, Falcons, Tickleton has been knocked. They should be able to recover that as looking for the last member of Zvire, and it looks like, they see him.
I
Rebo,
thought the model of the scope was going to allow Rocket to get away, but unfortunately didn't have that many smokes. Oh, they make it across. Still alive. Listen, still alive. How much further can he make it? Not quite sure. And look at this eagle by Gabby on the DIY onto Roth, but Roth, oh, man, this kid and that weapon, the UAZ, the 3X I assume he has on that, he is known for it in the region.
Yeah, Roth doing God's work there to save his teammate. He was on 1 HP as well, potentially dangerous coming in, but now we're looking at Bestia. Mime getting the first knock, getting traded though. Empire's Finna will find him. Now the other 3 members, Vinny is still in and Rafting are starting to push in,
Nice
but
drop shot.
drop shot, and Bestia will take down Empire.
Good take, good hold. They can get the revival to Mime and stay up as 4. They have a little bit of a fence to working on the east side. But back to Alcadizia. Roth is up, DIY is up, but that's just it. The 2 of them, and that is an MG3 waiting to get a massive amount of damage. Will Working in Silence expect Revo from the west? Not quite sure. And Falcons also have an angle to stop them from crossing the road. So Alcadizia, they should be thankful that they have some fairy godmothers in the form of Falcons, at least for now.
For now, watching over them, but that's the issue, right? Falcons just have
There's
so
some
much
mortars.
control, and this ridge line allows them to see and dictate so many moves of these other teams trying to get in. As you can see, Roth just trying to back up to get any sort of angle that he can, but he's going to have to retreat back into smoke. And Bestia, meanwhile, is starting to push on that east side, which leaves Dots probably in the most tentatively comfortable position they can be in, because they're basically being protected by other teams on all sides. And it's not going to work out. Working in Silence will fall. Roth again on fire for 10 kills right now for Alcadizia. My goodness. What a way to start off game 1. Oh.
Now here's where the real chaos starts to happen. You see Dots in the middle there. We have a couple of wounded teams around the extremities, but in order for any of them to push onto Dots, they're going to open themselves up to getting shot from a bunch of different angles. That's why you can see Firefly. They're trying to work their way in, but focus on a sliver of an angle. Currently, it's Outlaws to the west. Falcons now focusing on, again, the lone member of Spire to their north and making sure that they're not backfilled by El Proyecto. But no one can really start to push onto Dots. So Dots are going to be like the final boss. How healthy they're going to be, that's a different question, especially with all these grenades pushing in.
I mean, there's also a world, Cammy, where they just sit back, relax, make sure they at least stay up, as I believe they're a duo, and then just let the other teams do the fighting and try to come in third party. I mean, that's pretty much the only thing they can do at this point. But the problem is Falcons now pushing very close to the position of Bliss.
Yeah. They're looking for an opening there, trying to get more kills. Falcons came to the party in terms of points quite late because of their position. Not, they weren't intentionally hiding, but when you have an early center spot like they do, very often you don't find yourself with opportunities for fights, but they're coming in with healthy, should have some good utility left over still, even after throwing all those grenades that we saw. And so they're going to be in a really good position to take over this whole game. But I'm looking at Bestia on the east. They're going to have a more direct path to clean through multiple enemies without potential of getting surrounded and backstabbed. They can just sort of take it one angle, one edge at a time. But we still got to wait for these fights to really break out. Roth now is looking for an angle to try and not necessarily break into Bestia, but just get 1 or 2 kills, because Roth is looking to salvage as a solo now.
Yeah, and even if he doesn't get any kills, they've already had a game, right? So he can rest easy knowing that they at least had the start they were probably looking for. Bestia, on the other hand, I mean, they have a hard decision to make. Wrapping north, again, leaves them open to angles on Falcons, but at the same time, it's probably going to give them the most cover to get as close as they need to. And then the south is just, I just don't know if the south is it. They may just have to go for a north wrap here just to even ensure that they have a chance to fight back. Meanwhile, El Proyecto still just on belly. Posa and Haven, last 2 left.
They're waiting for Fireflies, waiting for Outlaws, waiting for someone to come their way. They don't have a lot more space to play into without getting spotted by Falcons. But Bestia, they're all going to go towards the south, potentially recognizing that there are some wounded animals down there, looking specifically at Fireflies. Kane is getting quite close to them. And Andrew with an angle a bit more towards the south, bit towards the east.
Funny.
Shields are coming into play now. But Bestia still got to make their way into the zone. They have a minute before phase 7 is closed.
Yeah, the problem is there's just, again, they whether they go north or south, damned if you do, damned if you don't. I mean, they are going to be well within the sight lines of Falcons. So for Bestia, it might be best to just pick up as many kills as possible. And then, if it is Falcons that happens to come third party and wipe, at least they got, an extra 3, 4, 5 kills. But this is still very winnable for Bestia.
Yes. Yeah, especially if Falcons get distracted by Proyecto, especially if Haven and Posa are able to get even just a knock or two.
Yeah.
With this fight. It's going to be hard for them. Haven has a grenade in hand.
Throwing that, though. He's going to overcook the heck out of that thing, and that's also going to give the Falcons more of an inclination as to exactly where Haven might be. Posa, though, still proned out. And they're just taking their time. They're actually forcing Falcons to make a little more aggressive moves if they want to actually clear out this squad. And now Roth, on the other side, is going to find Mime.
Stolen by Andrew, but still, that's going to mean Bestia aren't going to be as strong going into this. Falcons are liking that. Though their attention is still going to be on El Proyecto for now. They should be paying attention to the kill feed, as all top teams, all top players have just like 10% of their brain power going that direction to track for stuff and track for information. One flash available for Posa. Or 2, but still, just flashes. That's all they have. Waiting to hear some footsteps and counter utility to take this fight.
Well-placed stun could completely change the course of a fight. Let's see if that's what's going to be the case here. Posa only has 65 reserve on that AUG as well. So ammo is starting to get low. You see Huynh now starting to boost up. Endgame is upon us. It's going to be Kane that steps over for Firefly. Can he find it? No, he's immediately responded to by Vinny.
Good hold by Bestia. Still alive, still in this, still kicking. And now they're looking for more targets, looking for more victims. It's phase 8. We still have 6 teams alive. Now the push through. Andrew with a really nice insta knock. So it is going to get immediately traded, so Fireflies are eliminated in 6. But now DraftKings, 2 HP, running from the blue. Falcons, they are kicking things off now. Proyecto down, Bestia down. 8 kills for them. They're looking for the 9th.
Ooh, I like that. I like that tech from Huynh, but as you said, yeah, his draft almost went down 2 HP. He's left to be healed, but 8 kills for the Falcons. They are closing their vice-like grip on this circle, and it looks like it's going to be all but academic for them as long as they just don't throw
some shots. Good shot.
But Posa finds Curry with a beautiful double headshot.
Yeah, 2 shots, 2 points, the kill and the placement. And even denies to the blue to add insult to injury. But hey, Falcons, they know that their south is clear. They only have a couple of solos left. What can Ballista do? That's a Pavaz. We know how powerful a weapon. Oh, the answer is nothing.
But again, even just looking at the way Falcons is playing now, like, yes, it's a
DraftKings is running, boy. He's running to the...
They have the other 2 watching the backline, right? They're still playing as smart as possible. That's going to be a deny coming up from Bestia. And Falcons...
Good plays.
Getting some circle love, but realistically, just controlling that, doing so well, and they are going to clinch out the first game of groups here at PAS. Shocker.
Right? I know, it's a big surprise, guys. The more things change, the more they stay the same in this roster winning game. Listen, here's the call right now. They're going to win game number 1. They're going to win game number 3. They're going to have a little bit of a break, and they're going to win game number 6. That's usually how it happens, right?
We'll see. There were also some really good moments from Bestia there. We saw Alcadesia fragging out. So, yeah, other teams. But a Falcons win is what it is, as we are basically getting ready to get right into Game 2. So give us a moment. We're going to send you to the highlights, and we'll be right back.
All right, so let's talk about this. Falcons got a lot of circle love. Hung out in the middle. Got a lot of kills. And dominated the end. Kind of what we've seen them do when they were Sonics, right? That's what they did. They've always dominated. They've always dominated these lobbies. They've always dominated these lobbies. They've so kind of what we expected, right? That's the only In this lobby, that's the only real professional team.
Picking up their very first win as the Falcons. So stellar performance coming out from them. But there was a lot to break down inside that one. I've just got to ask, Cam, is Posa the best person in the world at stealing points? Because I think that he is. He always seems to find a way to pick up an extra couple of points, even on an international stage. And he's just coming out again, game number 1, doing it again.
Okay, if you're looking at, like, I guess it depends on how much you want to define stealing points. I still have Benya as like my clutch god from Latin America, but I
this
think
is
the conversation to be had there with Posa he is that little like trolly guy.
That's hot.
He won't necessarily win you the game, but he is gonna make the other team have a harder time of getting their points. If that makes sense.
Well, that's the thing is he's just so smart. He always manages to get into a position. It always feels like he manages to find it like a solo to buy another place.
Fake sliders.
It's just so great to watch him
with mac and cheese balls.
Looking at the Falcons, the X-Sonics, feels like it's the same thing.
Okay, so these are the games of
Is it going to be the continued dominance?
this is what leads up to the big tournaments, right? So this is like the qualifiers, kind of what like Vinny and our team joined a couple years ago. You had these teams that like Firefly, Potentially Dangerous, Working in Silence, 55 Esports that they join, and then they work through the open qualifiers to get into the big games. See if they can qualify for some of these tournaments. Yeah.
And those kills for you in those situations where he is a solo. So again, Falcons doing what they do, continue to be strong, not slacking.
The Falcons. So Falcons is Team Sonics. My bad. Go back to here. Falcons is Team Sonics from last year. Bestia was there last year. Luminosity is there. And then some of these other guys are teams that just got into the tournament. But in the other bracket, day 2 bracket, there's some other big teams like TSM and other big name teams.
Only one placement point. I mean, this is a squad we knew had some high-end frag power, but bringing in D just feels like it united a lot more of their fragging power.
Right. So, I mean, Cowboy Monster / Fadeaway / DIY / every other name under the sun. According to Reddit,
Like I said, bud, if you're you wanna hang out and just chill, chit chat about this, we can. I'm in the Discord.
Anyway, the great joke. Poro doesn't remember.
I just joined the management. I didn't want to join the random one because I didn't want just random people to join.
Yeah, exactly.
No big deal if you don't. I did notice a while ago. I sat here, and before you got here, ladies come home with a friend. So go, hey baby, you have fun with your friend. I'm gonna go hang out with my friend.
At the very least, is going to do some real damage, and already 10 kills. Honestly, 10 kills, 1 placement is as on brand as you could expect for this roster.
I mean, I love it. I love coming out the gate swinging. A lot of times we'll see squads take a second, right?
These are steak sliders. You cut up some steak.
Already have gelled, and they're just coming out. They're like, nah, now it's time to show you what we got.
They're good.
Yeah, I mean, again, it could be a case of the honeymoon period that we were talking about at the top of the show. Like some of these teams, they get excited. There's new faces on the team. You know, energy is high, and they happen to do really well. But again, once they start to run into issues is where we really start to see the mettle of these teams or these new teams that are coming together. Because, yeah, everything is great when everything is working. Your rotations are wonderful. Everyone is fragging. You're landing your shots. But when those things start to kind of fall off, that's when you start to see how strong that team actually is and how well they work with adversity.
Plan on getting up in the morning and playing some video games if I can wake up in time before the weather gets bad. Been having problems sleeping, so I've been having trouble waking up in the morning. So it's been a real struggle, you know.
consistency in roster with a lot of these teams. Like whenever we're talking about what's going on with Liquid and what's going on with Falcons, Bestia has been pretty consistent as a roster for quite a while now, and we saw them have a very good game number 1. So excited to see what they're going to do in game number 2.
Whoa,
That's
whoa,
hot.
whoa! Time out. The best player in it. Well, okay, that's a bit too far even for me. But like my boy Sharpshot, no longer on Bestia, and we're still gonna say, listen, that's a big drop off on skill, is my opinion. They've done good so far. Mime is still there playing nice at the moment. I believe is still shot calling. So it's not a completely different team, right? But I don't know. I'm biased, but I'm not nearly as excited for this roster.
That's fine.
No.
You know, just put some respect on my boy DraftKings and Silton, dog.
You're right.
I don't have to wake up early, no.
Well, come on. But yeah, Sharpshot obviously a great player, but
I think the storms and stuff are sort of going to come around. I think it's going to start raining about 11 or 12.
Picado, that is a very shocking turn of events. But on the more serious side, there is a team that is somewhat close to contesting them, maybe on the outskirts of the north, and it looks like we're getting a run back.
Oh God! I thought they were going to be a punch out.
No, I'll have to be there about 7.
Oh my goodness, they are taking it directly to 55. They're not even doing the usual split of you land in the north warehouse, I'll land in the south warehouse. No, we're gonna land right on top of each other.
During the week, I have to be at work at 7. And I don't like it.
We're about to witness maybe 2 different teams fight, and that was going to be Falcons.
5:30 now.
North, but nope.
I get up at 6:30 and just get in the truck and leave.
Once again, this time, as you stated, LG starting off much more aggressively. They just want to get rid of 55 altogether. They don't want this to be any point of contention at all, and it looks like with just as quick as you like, 55 is right back to the lobby. My goodness.
You have to shower in the morning just to wake up? Is that why you got to shower?
A lot cleaner of a hot drop as well. That's what happens when, like, honestly, hot drops are the worst thing when they don't finish within the first 10, 20 seconds. Then you have that, like, stall standoff, and that's how things become bad in terms of how it affects your loot timings, rotation timings. You get potentially approached by another team like we saw from Gooners last game. So the fact that Luminosity cleaned it up, it's even better that they didn't lose a single person. No one got even knocked, but 4 quick kills, and now they can play the game.
Yeah, so that means you're showering in the morning and in the evening. And
yeah, and
too much work.
For me, this has always been the question, especially when we watch either South American teams hot drop or on another token,
yeah, fuck that.
See one of the Chinese or Asian teams hot drop. They tend to stick around. It doesn't matter how much or how quickly you wipe them; they will continue to contest. And so, that's their strategy. They're like, we're either going to take this or we're going to completely ruin our game just to make sure that you guys also don't take our favorite looting spot. So I'm curious to see what 55's response will be. Obviously, that was a very devastating loss that they just took to LG, but again,
that's too much. Too much.
Just don't care. They will continue to come and contest those drop spots.
It's always the conversation of risk of, like, do we want to go somewhere else that we haven't practiced? We are unfamiliar with the rotation timings, unfamiliar. We haven't studied the teams around us because, like, no. You're aware of all 15 other teams in the lobby, but you're going to study specifically the 4 to 5 teams that drop immediately around
high circle
maps. You can't spread that
far north.
value of information
I
across
like
every
it.
single team for every single map. And so if you do decide to go somewhere else and you haven't prepped for it, it might honestly
that's just too much work, man.
an even worse plan. At least in a hot drop, you have a chance to pick up a couple of points.
Yes, but then if you're consistently hot dropping in the same area, that's going to
it is. You got to find clothes.
Dropping in their area to come third party that, and that becomes another issue. In and
You
of
have to
itself.
go.
And then you potentially run into issues where you're just never getting to play the game as a full 4 squad. And so, is the spot really worth it? I'm not sure. For me, like I said, I've always been against multiple hot drops. If a team is very clearly not going to leave after you've dominated them, then at what point do you just cut your losses and go somewhere else? But your point about knowing the teams around you is very valid. That's why a lot of teams are very stubborn about their drops. They don't want to relearn the other rotations of teams around them, their set plays. So, I get it from both angles.
Right, but also, this is our second and last Miramar of the day. 55 and Luminosity are, they're in the same group. So, tomorrow, or no, rather, Sunday, we'll see if 55 decide to go somewhere else on this map. In particular, but as far as on the day itself, I think it's perfectly fine that they just went back to back because it's 2 Miramars of 6.
It's 2 maps,
total games.
Sure. I get that, and it's the first day of the qualifiers, right? So go crazy, I guess. As we see, Firefly actually made it pretty far into the late game in the last game. Although
I wish
they were actually
I wish our
able to
teams could have
find
made it to
a
this
small
level.
amount of success.
Yeah.
As they are now rotating very far on the east side of the map, and they do have a team that they are. That's actually going to be. It's going to be Zvire. Oh, a spin out.
Yeah, I mean, Alcadesia, they set the trap here. They're going to pounce on it, though. Shockingly enough, they weren't able to get the kill immediately. Firevo lost the vehicle. I don't think they're going to be able to live for long, but it does give potential time for the rest of Zvire to respond, though probably they're making the right move of just rotating away and giving up their unfortunate.
It would have been really nice to watch.
Going down.
That'd have been awesome.
Find one kill, and that's it. That's all they're going to find. Fireflies, they're probably not going to follow through Zvire's angle or to give Alcadesia another opportunity at a kill.
No, especially because the sandstorm is coming in, so they'll be able to get away.
We don't have the-
But yeah, losing Farivero is,
We don't have the
is
talent in the
unfortunate, but
on the
again,
team for that.
Alcadesia, we know this roster is strong. We know that most of these players have some synergy with each other in one form or another from past teams, and so yeah, they're one of the teams that we're looking at to also be at the top of the lobby, and currently they're in third, so it makes sense. Bestie as well with Falcons, and then CLG currently in fifth, but
These guys are on a different level.
somewhat scuffed.
The only way they could have been remotely possible
This one we didn't really talk about the circle much.
is
Here's Device Center. It's been a while since we've been up here.
if some way or another Daz would have agreed to help out,
In America.
Actually, that's
coaching them something,
I don't know.
coaching some people
What
up,
am I talking about?
teaching them some things. That'd been the only way. But
Do you just go into hibernation
just
over the winter
just
break?
4 random guys that
I kind of do.
The second PUBG ends,
have completely different play styles,
time for more PUBG.
not really good at communicating.
It's done, and then I'm just out of
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
While streaming, no, it's not.
There's so much of a food
It's just
public
too much.
holiday
It's
feast.
too much for those. It's too much for
Blackout. Honestly,
the people that we have on our teams.
Been known to eat. I don't know if anyone has seen me on a broadcast before, but I happen to be a little more of a husky man. As we see Empire Gaming, Valiate, Michael, Finna, and Adam. This is a squad of OGs right here, as far as I'm concerned. I mean,
Oh,
this might
yeah.
be one of the most tenured teams on the field currently.
Now they feel curly. Just wait till tomorrow when God Squad join. That's gonna be the
That's
like the
right.
retirement home face off that we've all.
No, it
been
wasn't.
Oh,
waiting
man.
for.
And I don't know that it would ever be that
You know,
the right time for Daz to do that.
Event or two throughout
Oh
the
god,
year.
and Duel. Why are we forgetting Duel as well?
Duel. Well, we haven't even talked about Duel. Oh man, I wish they were playing today.
I know. Don't worry, we see them tomorrow. It's gonna be great.
Dots though in a position here, holding off, taking some pot shots in and around as we move back to Alcadia. Cadesia. Excuse me.
Yeah, they're just
And most of the
currently.
teams, most of these teams are already set up in the circle camp. So again, a lot of movement is going to be dictated upon the circle, and a lot of these teams are just going to chill, which is why we are just also enjoying ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, outside of the hot drop, we've only seen 2 separate kills. Pretty par for the course on Miramar. I said it last game. I'm gonna say it again. Probably gonna say it again tomorrow. That's just what Miramar is. Is outside of a couple of rotational kills, excluding hot drops, you don't really see that much action. It's only about it's about setting up for the mid game when you do start to see the multi-team collapses and multi-team crossfires. Honestly, the most interaction a lot of teams have is stuff like this of
Nope.
bumping your vehicle up on a cactus. Okay, they should be good. Yeah. No.
There we go.
You almost
The
balled
RB
over it again.
Yeah, the RB is safe. Everyone, and this is actually happening on the very far north side. So I like this rotation from Working in Silence. They're basically just keeping themselves out of all the issues that these early rotations can cause, staying on the edge, knowing that the north side is going to be probably one of the weakest areas, as no one really goes Campo Militar, and it's still well within the circle. So again, good rotation.
What time is she supposed to be home, Camaro?
Teams as well, trying to put themselves on the edge or in a position where they have good rotations moving forward. And Empire currently is in a strong position. I do just worry again about them getting pinched potentially by 2 separate teams.
Yeah.
And that's
Okay, wait. Oh,
That
they
is a
have the
shift.
center now, and they have
Yeah.
immediate access to Al Azahar. Do they send it in? It's a bit too early to call for that, but if they stay
Yeah.
around Valley 8's position, that's potentially very, very open to getting shots. So I think this is like kind of a
What's
bad
wrong with it?
position for Empire, just because like neither option they have feels great. I'd much rather be in Alcadesia's position, of course, being on the edge closest to the hard shift where they know no one's coming in from their backside. But even Bestia, their position is a lot more defensible than Empire's.
Yeah, there is one
Okay.
giant like dip where we see Empire playing, like in that area, that kind of southeast corner of that ridge line. But the rest of it, like you said, is very open, and it is difficult to hold that with multiple teams bearing down on you. But so far, Empire getting as much value out of this as they can.
Here, back.
Find Tig, that's going to be a straight flush. But Shrimsy with an AUG spray or tap is going to find Michael. They will get the smoke, but they want to pick him up and get him off that. Or maybe just Rez here. Please touch me. Yes.
Pick one. Rez or Carry. Just pick one of them, please. Okay, now Jappa now taking shots at Gooners, who are sending it down the trench. And bit of a fire show, but
The gas
no harm, no
station,
foul there.
Ziappa now is going to look at Goon Squad pulling in. She's looking at someone else. Goon Squad pulled in here just to the west side of Azahar. They're actually putting a lot of pressure here on. I was just about to say, oh, this is actually Valiant from Empire Gaming. Okay, different fight entirely, but that's going to be trade out from Theros. And Valiant's probably going to get flushed here.
Yeah, no, he's going to go down. He got one before he went out, so that's at least 1 point. But, I mean, Valiate never wants to be with his team. At least he got a point out of it this time around. But this is what I was worried about. This position by Empire is kind of a bit open, and I really would have preferred that they stack all players in that position. But now Goon now running directly through Falcons. Looking for Kickstart, I think, who is the last member up for Falcons. So I don't know what idiot said they're going to win 2 games in a row, but that surely won't be the case unless Kickstart comes out with some amazing next 20-25 minutes of this round.
Falcons got somewhat picked apart by a few different teams, and then by the time Gooners came through, it was just a little too late. They only had 2 members, and to Goon's credit, they pushed out well as a team, and they cleared building to building, and now, as you said, it's just down to Kickstart. Meanwhile, Alcadisia still maintaining control here, and they've taken control on the North Ridge, where we saw earlier Empire taking control of the West Ridge of El Azahar. It's going to be them controlling North, and they have a few teams to contest with. Realistically, I'm looking at LG to be the one to really kind of pressure them enough, especially if they start to realize that Alcadisia is quite split, and we do notice that quite a bit when we see teams that Roth is on. I mean, he loves those splits, whether he's calling or not. It just seems that that's the play style of the teams that he happens to go to.
Yeah, and this is a good spot for a split to be employed. It's not the easiest for Luminosity to push up that ridgeline without getting spotted by Forever or Zvire. And not to mention, we still have a couple of seconds before the next zone closes. You don't want to be in a fight if it gets hard shifted away from you, which it has been. Luminosity now could decide to rotate down south. It's not the easiest rotate through truck stop, but the point is that they need to make a decision now. Do we fight through Alcadisia? Do we try and fight through the north or the south? They have options. They just need to pick one and commit to it.
Also, when I'm looking at Forever as well, they have a few options. I mean, if somehow there's a fight that cracks off between Zvire and Alcadisia, that's a big third-party option for them. But then you look at LG. LG is also looking for a window to get in, and they're currently far further on the eastern edge than anyone else. So they're going to have to make some decisions here, potentially go for a south wrap, maybe try to get in on the butt side of El Azahar, or just take the fight to Alcadisia. But the problem is they're uphill, and that's not the best angle for them to approach that.
Cowboy with some shots towards Fire, who are making their own way into a more central position in the zone. Wasn't able to do too much damage from that position, but that wasn't, those weren't shots that you quote unquote should hit. But RBN sneaking up to Sotitos. This could be an opening to allow Working in Silence to make their way down this ridge. This could be a really important fight for RBN to take, but it's all about what opportunity is delivered. Because once he starts shooting, all attention is going to be drawn his way, and the rest of Working in Silence, well, they're not even on the minimap anymore.
Yeah, they're far north. They could use this sandstorm, though, Cammy, to get a window of opportunity for themselves, as we see here El Proyecto just safely sitting in the center of the circle, but they do have a few teams around them, mainly Bestia, that is going to most likely make that push onto them when they need to, when the circle starts to close. But even Dots on the northwest, Dots will have to make a move against one of the guilds, one of the multiple guilds actually towards the north. It looks like Zvire might actually be making their play towards the north as well.
Okay, so the hunters are now the hunted, working in silence. Those footsteps were certainly heard by Varus. He's waiting for them to sort of overpeak. Robert with an angle as well, I think. Santa. Ooh, nope, not exactly. Robert's not taking shots just yet either, though. Both these teams, they're kind of just playing around each other. They don't want to come into a fight just yet, but the circle's right on their back, and they're on the edge. They're in the zone. Surely this fight's going to break out at some point.
Well, it somewhat has to, right, Cam?
Yeah.
I mean, don't have a choice, as this next shift is going to be very telling as far as which teams are going to fight first. Working in silence, surely we'll fight Sortito here in just a moment. As everyone else is getting ready for the next shift, LG comfortably in the center of this one, right next to them to the southeast, is going to be potentially dangerous, and that is exactly where the shift is going to go. Potentially dangerous now, dead center, which means all these teams on the north are going to have to fight for what is very little in this current circle on the north side.
Yeah, working in silence, they spotted out a couple other members of Sortitos, but they don't want to take that fight. They weren't able to do some immediate damage to get a knock, so instead, they're not going to waste any time. They're going to get into their vehicles and rotate around them and try and race them for that northern ridge. But Survivor are also watching this angle, could be looking to take them out. Luminosity previously sent a center send. That doesn't make any sense. Don't worry. That sentence makes zero sense at all. Whatever, they're here now. Shut up.
I'm sorry. Alir, is that what I think it is? Goodness.
Yo. Anti-headshot maneuver coming in from Santa, and he nails it.
He does indeed nail it, and he is safe. Very fortunate to be safe. Robert was aiming for the head. Box will find sold, so now here we go. LG has entered the chat as working in silence, getting picked apart from multiple teams. Now Zvire Rebo is getting involved. And again, LG just hunkering down, making sure they can protect their position as best they can, but it's hard in that position. A single one-story shack, essentially, with at least they have a bus, but
yeah,
I mean, that cover is limited.
It is. They have a couple of kills, though. Only one since the hot drop, but I don't blame them for sending it to the center like this. Remember, previously they were to the east of El Azahar, but grenades coming out, utility coming out. There's Dragunov. Remember how dangerous that weapon is at this range. They're working in silence, under smoke, under a shield, re-smoking that one out to get BL revived. But they have even worse cover than Luminosity. I think they're going to get picked apart before too long.
And don't forget, there's a Lynx in play. You know? Somewhere out there is a one-shot, just body shot destroy. Lynx is probably so terrifying to play against in comp.
Oh, yeah.
That thing's got to be devastating. He's got a Lynx, boys. Put your heads down. Don't peek. As that was a nice spray from Kick. He's going to find Nuts forever. And looks like Robert is going to look for a finish, potentially.
Yeah, Dots rotating into the Mosquitoes. They lost the race that we saw working in silence try and take, which they're in a better position, so maybe it was by choice. But the Blues coming in now, they only have one kill.
They do only have one kill. What I also would love to see, I like the fact that they stayed in and they stayed late to try to take care of people in the blue. I just wish they would have at least, maybe they did scout this. I could be completely wrong here. Maybe they did scout this, but at least make sure that they have an anchor somewhere in this area in case, that hold goes wrong. But it seems like they already knew what they were doing, so they're fine.
The problem is there's not a lot of space for Robert to play around.
There really isn't.
Next to his vehicle. He has a grenade out to take advantage of a fight. They've got Jess to the south of them, but Varus goes down before Robert can really make a big stand here. Lands some damage. That's a grenade right in his face. Drop down to 31. Drop down even lower than that. And Sortito are eliminated. Joshi with the final shot there. So Dot's still in the blue, but they are dealing some damage as they make their way into phase 5.
I was gonna say LG with 5 kills with a position like this is great. And then I remembered 4 of those came in the first 30 seconds of the game. So
Yeah.
they've only managed to pick up 1, but all 4 members still alive in a great position in the circle. But if you are Zvire or you are Dots or El Proyecto, Bestia, I mean, there's a lot of teams right now, Outlaws, that are just fighting for every inch to get in. Kraken!
Oh, Kraken!
With a very nice cleanup there.
Yeah. Good job doubling up with Posa, but some shots from range from Zvire. A Proyecto all 4 up, 4 kills. The next test is upon them, though. Where can they go now? It's going to be into Luminosity territory. Wide open fields, potentially dangerous, also overlooking them. Alcadesia on the east also going to be overlooking them. So Proyecto, they might be looking good for now, but this is going to be a really, really big challenge.
Zvire now just going for the tried and true, just send it until you find something safe. And in this position, I don't hate it. I mean, they don't really have many plays, so you might as well just go for what you can get. Rebo is going to be taken down by D, as Kalnix as well. And yeah, they're just gonna fall again. Is it the best play? Not necessarily, but given their options, what do they really have? That's a blue zone grenade. Nicely done. Good mechanics there, just to get out of danger. We are going to throw a smoke and cut off that angle, but yeah, nicely played.
Good on Luminosity, though. With their limited cover, they've actually spread themselves out into a 2-2, and they're trying to be active, throwing resources out to make sure that no one can be comfortable pushing in onto them. But a big fight is breaking down now towards the south. Firefly, Empire taking a push into this, trying to really utilize and abuse that high ground. Firefly down to Jess, Kane, and Andrew. They can't even make their way up the hill. They have a lurking Forever to the east. They have Empire to the north. This is a rough rotation for them now.
There's a few ridges. If they can just clear those, they're somewhat safe. And that grenade landed right in Goon's pocket. As Rello and Alicia just continuing to push forward and create this momentum. Not anything that I wouldn't expect any less from. These guys are so solid. And firing on all cylinders just out the rip. We saw it in game 1. Even though they went down early, they managed to get at least 10 kills. So, yeah. I mean, this is what we expected from them, right?
Yeah. How could this legendary legacy player clutch it out? Unable to do so. Got 1 knock onto Gump, but Outlaws are still kicking. Should be able to get the revive, but Luminosity heard that. Snakers, Bizzler running out, catching a jumping Mean Tone. Who else is gonna peek? Who else is gonna peek this man?
They had to hold for so long on the west side. That nade will land dangerously close, but now starting to spread out. You can see it. Bizzler, Snakers putting the screws onto the Outlaws. They have 2 down, and I don't even hate that they're not pushing because they realize that the other 2 members are anchoring in the circle. If they push this and they go for that 2v2, there's a chance it falls apart. So great discipline here to just keep the pressure on but not get overextended and put themselves in a bad position. I love this from LG.
Yeah, their constant in and out managing of positioning is great. The xylophone sort of feel in the game. And especially because they haven't had that much great terrain to play with to begin with. The fact that they're getting away with it is fantastic, and it really shows how good of players they are in terms of like knowing timings and knowing when they can go for these maneuvers. Back to the east, Alcadesia, they've been more like sledgehammers. They've just been crushing in, crashing in, taking teams out, looking towards Empire, but they don't want to wait around because the phase is closing. They want to make sure they end up on the high ground. And Outlaws got the revives, and they're crashing in onto potentially dangerous. At least taking the load down. Empire could have an angle. Luminosity could have an angle. I think Outlaws probably stopped a little bit too soon.
Yeah, I don't think they wanted to go into the compound just because they know there's at least 1 team there, whether it's a full 4-man stack or 2. So they stopped short on the ridge, but that is really starting to haunt them here. Is now we see Cowboy looking at yet another team to harass El Proyecto. And LG still in the background all the way on the west side trying to maintain control of their area, which they have complete of. And there's just 1 team in front of them working in silence, but Cowboy is trying to find Nox.
You go to 3 seconds recording market for it.
And he will find one, but he will be traded.
Got a couple there. Good damage. And the rest of Alcadia should be able to follow. Look at the HP bars on Michael and Adam. 1 or 2 bullets is all they would need to go down. And I don't know where Empire can go with this. Michael's been dropped by a molly by D. I think Adam's the last one left. Is able to heal up. Has some cover with those vehicles in that dip. But it really is going to be playing around the timings, the momentums, the choices that Alcadia make for Adam to find anything here.
Yeah, and the rest of the utilities going out. They just want to close the door on Empire right now, claiming even more control of this side of the circle, even though it is quite far off from the actual center. As we can see, most of this shift has actually left them out. They do have good rotations, but they can't get caught up here too much, as Cowboy's going to get knocked.
You're spending money on a game that's fixing to go out of date in 4 months.
Second game. That's their second double-digit kill game back-to-back. What a start from them.
I think it was you that said that they were firing on all cylinders, and that's not slowing down now. But Luminosity, they found an angle. They took Cowboy out, got at least his second knock of the game. And so I am worried that Alcadesia's run this round is going to stop here. I don't see there being a really easy way to break into potentially dangerous compound. And if they go towards the north, they're going to be basically opening up Luminosity to have just a giant firing line on them.
Hey.
Yeah, for them, I mean,
that's enough.
Pushing onto that long building is terrible, as you know, but the only caveat for them is PB is just a two-man squad right now. It's really the Outlaws that I'm worried about third-partying that and causing all the issues for them. But Luminosity, again, they're just going to hold this position. There's no reason for them to move. They have so much control, and it's just up to them to make sure that none of these other teams get an advantageous position on them, as Alcadesia is just rotating right into their line of sight.
They had to just make a send. They're successfully alive, at least, and they're here's footsteps. Some people are inside waiting for the first pixel of an enemy. Gonna pull that trigger. Gump goes down.
That flash range was actually ridiculous. Slab got hit in the hallway 2 doors down. But potentially dangerous with an opportunity here to capitalize on other teams either fighting or, as you can see, Alcadesia coming in. And these long buildings are just so difficult and obnoxious to push into, which is why you see that the push coming out from Outlaws has been stopped completely.
Oh man, there you saw him take that window angle, and now he has a sawed off. He is doing all of the things that make these building pushes so frustrating. Nick and Dean, like, they're separated from each other. They can spot each other, but there's only so much they can do now. Alcadesia, more information at hand. They know how wounded, how much the teams, the players here are bleeding, so they're going to use this opportunity to take space, separate themselves from Luminosity. D should be able to get revived. But how do they move into the next zone? It's going to be a fight for third place, I fear, all the teams coming out of this compound.
No, and here they go. Cadesia, Roth in, tip of the spear. Theros trying to hold that one back, but it's going to be Nick actually that finds Theros, so this is a mess now. Third parties everywhere. Slabby right in the face of Roth, and Roth is going to throw the molly. He's going to explode on his chest and just get Roth in the crossfire of that molly. What a ridiculous... Again, these long buildings are a mess. And now Ninatone finds an opportunity.
Don't know how Relo didn't go down. That angle was held. He was not expecting a roof player at all. More utility goes out. 10 kills for Luminosity.
I will give
you
money.
They're able to take out Working in Silence, take that center position, use the opportunity of the fight to the south to not get third party. They know their timings. It's all on Alcadesia to remove these rooftop bandits. It's all into Nick now for Outlaws. How much more damage can he do, or will this be a fight of juggernauts? Luminosity versus Alcadesia.
He's like, oh look, a free point. So on that balcony is now one person left. It's going to be Nick. Godspeed, sir. And he's down. But, I mean, securing third place for the Outlaws, especially given the situation they had to deal with earlier, I mean, that was a solid game for them. Good cleanup.
Yeah, couple of kills. They managed it relatively well, but now 4 versus 3. Luminosity versus Alcadesia. Luminosity have a lot of advantage here, but potential high ground peak advantage for Alcadesia. Smoke's coming out. The cover, though, isn't great for either side, so really Luminosity with man advantage is positional advantage in the center. You never count any of these players on Alchemisia out.
No, I do like these aggressive smokes. You know what? If we're not going to have cover, we have to keep up with this ridge line. We're just going to cut off those angles completely. And they have smoked it. Now you can see them trying to get different angles. But Vox holding that anchor spot, trying to make sure that none of them are able to creep on this. Gats is going to find one. Snakers with the blue zone grenade. And that is it. LG will close it out. But those two Titans came in with 13 and 14 kills, respectively. Unbelievable game for those guys.
Crazy games.
Yeah, listen, Luminosity might have won, but Alcadesia, that was, I mean, they got, more kills in that round anyway. It was almost a win. They got that first knock against Snakers to even things up. It was just Luminosity had the advantage of having a more spread situation because they got there earlier. Timing can make or break a run in this, so not surprised that Luminosity came out with the win. That was a very risky push that they made to get to that position to begin with, to manage that position in the field, in the shack to begin with. It was a risk, but it paid off in dividends. I think that's a finance word, right?
Yeah, it worked. It worked for me. And it's just the discipline and the patience, right? We've seen so many times in the past where a team will be in LG's position. They'll have two people anchor. They're two people up front pushing or getting information. Will get the kills or the knocks, and then they'll just push, and then they'll fall apart. I love that they pulled back. Great play from Alcadesia as well. Again, we are going to go to a highlight throw and then get ready for the next game so that we can just keep cranking these bad boys out and give you guys as much PUBG action as possible. So just stay tuned as we go to the highlights.
Was just all the way through with these guys. Phenomenal performance and 6 kills for Snakers, who is retired, by the way. And put quotations around retired. So there's a lot that's going to be going on. Look at inside of that game. I mean, Alcadesia, you were talking about him a lot, Godspeed. They managed to rack up another high kill count game based off positioning and very powerful 2-2 splits.
Yeah, double-digit kills in back-to-back games to start off the first regional of the year seems like a pretty damn good start to me. I don't know about you, but I would call that a success, even given some of the situations that they'd have to deal with, like, you know, being outside a circle, chasing certain teams, being held out. So, yeah, very, very good start from Alcadesia.
Luminosity Gaming walking away with 23 points. Alcadesia going to be walking away with 20 of their own, and then it's going to be Outlaws back behind them. Empire Gaming working in silence, potentially dangerous.
In one game, 1 point to Nate.
Forever.
Typical.
I mean, this is a very hefty leaderboard.
Typical flavor.
I mean,
typical games for the
at the top cam. We've got 20,
Falcons.
20, then a drop down to 9. So by the time we get to 6th, we're already just down to 6 points, 5 points. Man, it is diminishing returns heavy over there.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens. The thing about PUBG is that there are limited points. There is a flat amount of points. It's going to be more or less the same. What is like, it ranges from like 60 to 63 kill points plus the set number of placement points. Like, that's it. So if there is one team that's popping off, that makes it harder for other teams to get points. If there are 2 teams that are popping off in kills, that makes it even harder for anyone else to get points. And especially with Miramar, there are some times that Miramar will have like one team that just like can see everyone and eliminates everyone. But yeah, just ultimately going into the overall.
They are fragging, boy. 24 kills.
Yeah, they are taking first with 31. Luminosity with 26 and Falcons with 20. So here is a little bit more of a linear drop-off just because of the nature of it being 2 games. But the kill to placement point ratio with Alcadesia at the top is very, very scary. Getting
So
killed
it's simply map
is something that is relatively consistent no matter how
team.
your game
So there.
goes. So once they have those one or
You gotta play for placement, guys. Y'all can't just fucking run in and do dumb shit.
It's only been 2 games so far, and it's only been on 1 map, but this is looking like Alcadesia is going to be running away with this group stage. They certainly have a really good start to this whole weekend.
Yeah, and I mean, we saw Bestia having a good game 1, didn't have the highest point total for game number 2, but still holding down in a decent position on the overall leaderboard. We are going to go ahead and try to prep everything up for a quick break because we're going to take about a minute before we get back into the next series of games. So we will see you guys in just 1 second.
Every time I close my eyes,
Kill counts coming up with specific squads, repeat performances in our first 2 games. So now that we're making our way over to Tego, there is the potential that maybe some of these squads that are desperate for some points might find a good rotation. They've got it in the capabilities. Is there any team that you have your eyes on?
Oh, man. I want to see what Empire can do. They had a couple of good ideas, I think, around
Same.
I think they were kind of just stuck between a rock and a hard place, and they still were able to get some good points out of it. So I'm looking on them to see if they can follow up and start to punch a little higher.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Especially with when you look at that roster, right? When you look at Adam and Finna, like these are 2 players that have been active, right? They haven't necessarily been retired. They've been active. They were active last year. Michael as well in certain capacities, especially, obviously being a Nations Cup winner. And then Val has been admittedly out of the game for a little bit, right? But even still, coming back mechanically, he's still very impressive. He still has a great mind for the game. So, yeah, we'll just see how these guys start to mesh together over the course of these group stages. But I agree, there's a lot of potential there.
Yeah, the problem with Empire is as far as who you would look at to be the star fragger, top-level firepower, it's kind of all on Michael. Like, you look at Falcons, all
Dead
4
center circle.
amazing fraggers, but you even then could still, like, rate them, like, Kickstart, Trimsy, H1. But for Empire, it's kind of like Michael, and then I don't really know who I would look to.
Actually, hold on.
Weird.
Here's the interesting way of looking at this.
Okay.
As far as fragging ability, anytime Adam, Finna, or Valiant have been on the team, they always have high potential for fragging. But all 3 of these players are former IGLs, right?
Right.
That's the thing. You have 3 IGLs and 1 very, very talented fragger. Again, they're all good fraggers, but when you think of like that raw
within
role,
the context
Michael,
of Tier 1 PUBG.
Exactly, yeah. So it is an interesting dynamic to have, 3 former IGLs on one team, but I think they can make it work because ultimately all 3 of those players know what it takes to feed good information to an IGL, right? They've been in those leadership positions. So if anything, I feel like there's a mutual understanding of what needs to be done. So I'm very hopeful for the roster.
Yeah, that's true. We just saw Empire flirt with Spire a little bit. A couple of shots went out. They stole some gear, racing towards Ohyang's. I think they might have stolen a vehicle. Finna and Michael, not quite sure, but it is going to make Zvire have to think twice about what direction they want to go to make their way deeper into the zone. They're on the edge of circle number 1, which mostly center, a little bit towards south, which is good because it cuts out the river for the most part. No bridge shenanigans, at least not today on Tego.
Looking back, at this map, I don't really feel like there actually has been bridge shenanigans just in general. Like you see the the off team maybe camping one or two bridges, but for the most part, these things are pretty free rotations. Especially because circles will generally pick an area that's kind of less convenient to actually camp the bridges, just the way the map and the terrain is laid out.
You actually see it's significantly riskier crossing bridges to the north than it is to the south. Just going off of memory.
Agreed. Yes.
There are so many more positions that you can hold on the north of most of these bridges. On the south is usually pretty open, so if you want to hold that bridge, you're going to get spotted by someone else even deeper in, so it's really not worth it. The whole point is, though, is like you don't have to flip a coin and choose which side of the river you're going to be on.
Yeah, the other thing as well is the terrain around the bridges themselves are not very conducive for camping because you're open to so many other angles, which is, again, why they tend to be safer rather than camped, you know, something we've seen on Erangel, for example, where those bridges can be death traps.
Right. I mean, they added the catwalk in, and then it's like, all right, game's on. What do you mean find a position in the zone? This is our position in the zone. This is a house.
We are
this
the
is my
position.
bedroom. Yeah, we are the position. We got a roof here. There's a kitchen over there. Bedrooms over there. I'm fully moved in.
Okay, so for 55, though, I want to see what they can do now that they're not in a hot drop situation. They've made it out of their initial drop zone. They are now pushing forward. They are in a good position in the circle. It's a area where they can definitely get some rotations out of, and whether they want to go to the south or even wrap around towards the west, they have that option, but they will have to contend with Bestia as they have spotted them in this compound.
Yeah, Bestia got a knock on a different player, a player from Fireflies to the north. And that means you see all of those arrows on the map looking that direction. 55 could use this as an opportunity to just sneak up in. I don't know if they can get into the compound itself, but certainly I'm worried that Bestia are going to let their attention let up for even a brief moment and give 55 an opportunity for a knock, because, I mean, you know this yourself. You can't pay attention to all 360 degrees around you every single moment of the game.
Here we go. Goon now pushing into potentially dangerous. And I say potentially dangerous, but it's just one person.
Yeah.
Dangerous, but either way, that sucks for it. Yeah, he's going to go down, and that's going to be a kill picked up here for Goon. And we haven't really even been able to talk about Goon very much, right? Look at this roster. Simply Matt. You have Bunt, Greg Shot, Icy Flex. I mean, this is a roster of OGs and successful players as well in their own right.
Yeah. They're very much, I'm putting this team like the wild card category. I don't expect them to win. I don't expect them to really even be top 5, but they're going to be there to make your life, the teams that are trying to actually be top 5, top 6, top whatever, to make it as annoying as possible for them. And honestly, I appreciate that. I think every single lobby of PUBG needs at least 1 or 2 teams like that.
Realistically, though, there is a world where they make it into that top 5, right? Like those players are very tenured and have a lot of experience in comp, so it would not surprise me at all if they actually made it to that top 5.
I mean, there's a world that I'm cast as the next James Bond. Like, yeah, I guess technically, I'm not gonna bank on it.
I mean, I feel like that is way more far-fetched than Goons qualifying. I'm sorry.
Hey,
I think Goons qualifying is. I'm not trying to hate on you. I'm
what
just
do you
saying
mean? I got meetings with directors
chance.
like every week. I'm in the conversation. They're not answering my calls, but I'm sure they're reading my messages.
Well, looks like the calls aren't being answered as well for H11 because he happened to trace. I believe that was Mime in that window, but even still, they've now played their hand. I mean, Bessie know there's a team to their west, so now 55 has to decide whether or not they want to just hold this. Hosan completely open as well. Maybe send a split, because the issue here for 55 is, although they do have good position and they're playing together, they're playing too clumped. And with a circle this big, they're actually shooting themselves in the foot by not getting enough information of what's going on to the north. Is there a team to our south? How about our east ridge? They're just focused on Bestia.
Yeah, my best guess is that it was a case of like thinking they had an opportunity for a point and then sort of doubling down, and then what is that,
sunken cost fallacy?
Yeah, sunken cost fallacy. Exactly.
Ooh, Posa.
Posa.
Nope.
Yeah, Posa with a nice little quick one there. It looked like it was potentially looking to get stolen, but not going to be the case. They get their kill and they get out of there.
You get out of there indeed. As Circle, it feels like this Circle 1 has just it's just crawling to a close here as LG setting up on that North Bridge. That's not necessarily surprising at all to see. And actually, you want to talk about a bridge fight. Look at Forever. They may be trying to cross in that direction, as they did see Alcadicia in front of them crossing the bridge near Fishing Camp, which has made them think twice about going in that same direction. But again, LG is waiting for them.
We said there were no bridge shenanigans. LG's position to the north is the one spot that you can like maybe argue for a strong bridge camp. So we'll see if that comes into play if we're ever going to take that bait. Proyecto, however, though, they're elsewhere on the map, rotating around finding a spot to the east, and then Empire cruising through from the south. Got a knock on a Robert, I imagine, what caused this push, and then DraftKings actually following up with another knock. This is great for Empire to take this position away.
And the distance of which those shots are coming from are fairly significant, as Empire is just going to take this
Not really.
for free with the help of some of the members here of Bestia. As Finna is also going to get
There's been
knocked in,
some, I
great shots
guess.
coming out from these boys. The problem is they can't really capitalize.
Nothing real memorable, you know.
What, was he about to pick that Panzer up? Okay, here is that.
But
bridge
you'll
that
know
I was
s-
talking about.
If you watch this, you'll know some of these players.
Sent first player through. They get the information. They know that there's a camp now. How do they follow up? Oh no, Scooby was too far down the bridge to make it worthwhile to turn around. But
Yeah,
the rest
and
of the team on the north, they're going to pull away. They're not going to take that, make that same mistake. They're going to find a different bridge to the east. It's still early games. The blue isn't going to do any damage at all.
And they tried to stagger that, but unfortunately still lost one. Either way, the reposition to the north side is going to be the best option for Forever, as they will at least have 3 still up. I'm not sure if LG is interested in chasing that solo member that's waiting for Forever. And sure enough, it looks like that's not the case. Tiggleton, meanwhile, will find Haven. That's going to be an easy pickup for him in the gas station here.
That was the easiest fucking kill of his life, I think.
I say gas stations. Is this really a gas station? It's more of like a bus stop. What is that?
I don't know. I'm not Korean. I haven't lived in Korea in specifically the 80s. Okay, so Forever, is this a chase? I mean, it's one person. Luminosity, they seem to be very, very comfortable and familiar with the fact that there is no one else around their area, so they have quite a lot of space to play with. But okay, they are going to pull away. Snakers was probably given the call 3 or 4 times to stop chasing before he turned around.
Yeah, some of these fraggers, you got to pull them back. Otherwise, they are just going to go wild. The good thing for Forever is they're going to be able to regroup with that 3-man. Meanwhile, here, the Outlaws are taking a fight against the Dots. Or just Dots. Bliss still up. Hot and spicy as well with a frag in hand. And again, I like the utility of
Joshy.
smoke here. The utility use.
Shane Doe, you know that name.
We're seeing a lot more players actually use these more aggressively.
Yeah, I don't like this fight. It's not even in the zone. It's not a good
That I
position
agree.
for either team, and you can't see it on the mini-map yet, but El Proyecto are going to be looking to third party this fight. Great flank by Ninton. Take Blizz down and look at Posa. Yeah, this is that third party activity that's coming into play. I don't think either Dots or Outlaws are going to come out of this fight particularly healthy.
Shane No finally getting an. I actually thought multiple of those shots hit, even though they didn't somehow, but he'll find it nonetheless. Gump now is just going to get an easy knock, but who's going to get the kill? It will be Gump. Outlaws just down to 2 members, and we can see, like you said, this isn't even happening in the circle, and now it's going to be El Proyecto to come in and try to sweep this up, as they are the only team on this east side with the foothold that is currently third-partying this fight.
Yeah. Gizera is anchoring in the middle of the zone. This gives Kraken.
Can you hear me? Hello? Check. Is this thing on? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Just run around and be given fed information that they just have this space to work with, and don't you worry about your backside. Okay, but Kraken's not going to overcommit. Send some shots toward Gump, but now
Check 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 check.
is
Check 1 2.
And Buxton Sa to the south is sort of a natural wall for a team to just rush up at them, but it doesn't mean that a team couldn't. Survivor could still, if they hang around too long, El Proyecto.
But you'll notice some names that you know that you see in the PUBG world, like Shane Doe. You'll see Simply Matthias.
Always be aware of timing.
Um,
Always be aware safe to
There's a
say
couple
it
others
enough
that
before
I recognize that
resetting in a more defensive position.
that
And the thing about Zvire is just
We're on these
look how much
teams.
space they have to work with. I mean, they have the entire southeast, including books on Sada themselves. It's Mercedes, so I mean, realistically, they can really take their time unless Circle just pushes all the way to the northwest, which is possible. As we can see, Kraken. No, it's actually going to pull down to the south as hard as possible. So Bestia in one of the best positions as well as Zvire. If they just sweep and clean out the south side, they are sitting very pretty.
Simply Matthias, Matt, Bunt,
Tricky.
Icy Flex, those guys.
These recoils very
We know them. I mean, we've seen them. We've seen them.
reliable spray that you can hit. Kraken chased for a little bit, got an extra kill off the back of Outlaws, but with that circle shift all the way to the south, as you said.
Yeah, Tiggleton and Strimsy, but they're part of the they're part of the big guys that we all know, that everybody knows. But I'm just talking about people in the PUBG communities that that join the tournament to try to win or try to get in there. Like Simply Matt and Shane Doe, for instance.
Outlaws are also trying to make that push as well. Falcons now coming in. They should be able to see El Proyecto, which is going to cause a fight or problems for them. And that's actually a third-party opportunity for Zvire if they are able to recognize that. Outlaws will go down, though.
Twin and the rest of Falcons now getting in front of El Proyecto. Post getting back into the vehicle. Got to pull down towards the south. Got to keep themselves alive, but they are going to be holding on to the edge here. Looking at Falcons rotation on the minimap just to the west.
Like this Joshi guy.
Getting completely bullied here. They
I
got a number
can.
of kills already, El Proyecto,
I've been
so
killed by him in game.
I mean, it's not done. You want to get as much as possible, but it's pretty good so far. Oh, all right. What? Okay, Gig, calm down.
He's just drift right past him. And
Yeah.
Kind of sick, I'm not going to lie. But Falcons find themselves dead center. This is, though, as you can see, very open. They are using their vehicles to create whatever cover they can. But it will be a problem if multiple teams start to push their position from different angles because they just don't have that much cover. That being said, they've been here before, so I'm sure they will figure it out.
5. Fake. They know potentially dangerous are dug in with them. Hearing Gabriel, hopping around, jumping around. Gabriel's looking for the window towards Baki's angle. No, H11 Junior potentially. Not quite sure. But this is that confusing time of like, we know we're in the same compound together. Like, is it even a rock, paper, scissors type game?
It's in situations like this, it's just whoever makes the first mistake, right? Whoever gets knocked first opens the door to the other team. Meanwhile, on the north side, though, I've been watching this on the map. Goon, as well as LG, and what's left of Forever, and even Alcadesia are all bunched up on this north side. You can see that nice split there coming out from Cadesia on that ridge line, and they're taking a lot of control. But again, I always worry that the control of the split is too much, and that shift going down to the southwest is going to turn this situation on its head, as now all these teams just say, screw the fighting, let's get into the circle as fast as we can, as rotations are flying down towards that southwest.
And Luminosity again, they are just sending it towards the center. Another risky play, but they haven't actually taken that much damage at all. Where can they hide out? Do they even know that it's free where they're going?
Yeah,
55 versus
I agree.
Now the fight is happening. Grenade damage, dropping fake down to 12 HP, clearing this mini warehouse, recognizing that it's free, but the rest are potentially dangerous. Off to the north, H11 Junior, quite spread from 55. On up. And then Slabby does go down.
Okay, so 55 with an opportunity here to get as many points as they can possibly nab, as they had 0 points before this game, but that is going to be a nice
was
double
good
for
nade.
Baki. So 2 points on the board so far. Don't forget the placement that will be coming when about 5 more teams get eliminated, but Alcadesia now looking for an off angle, finding some shots. The Groza will ring true, but no, he'll be traded. He won't get anything. And that's it. Alcadesia is out.
They
Good
had
Lord.
the position. They had the drop on Goon. But listen, you could set yourself up in the best position ever, and if you cannot hit the shots,
Yeah, Cowboy. He's been a long time player.
Alcadesia out. More smokes coming out, and 55 looking up towards this direction. Goons still need to get into the zone. That's what those smokes were for. Empire, a similar play from them on the south. Got to make their way up this hill, or whatever hill, ridge, whatever you want to call it. But they're facing off against Working in Silence.
Working in Silence did a good job last game of getting at least to the end game, finding pockets of opportunity where they could. Now they're going to have to face and fight a full 4-man strong EMP. They have to know about this, right? I mean, now they do. The shot's going out, but late response there. Either way, both teams will be okay and healthy now to re-engage on a fight. And meanwhile, the kill feed, it looks like another member of 55 was able to find a knock, Cammy.
Look at that barrage of grenades. All in tandem, but damage is pretty minimal towards Working in Silence. But at the very least, it does seem to be pushing them away and giving Empire a little more space to push up just a touch. They're giving up this bowl Working in Silence, and by doing so, I mean, BL is giving them the information further towards the west, but potentially open themselves up to getting taken out by another team. El Proyecto, how did they get here? I thought they were on the east.
They might have just done a wide wrap. Look how low all of them are, just cooking in the blue, but it worked. They're at least on the west side. It is much less contested than where they were. It really just depends on what the circle does to see how successful that play statistically is, and it works out for them. It's beautiful. Now it's going to be Working in Silence and the Empire fighting at the bottom side. That gives...
That's a nasty circle. There is nothing there.
Beautiful opportunity to third party if they are able to recognize and capitalize on it there.
Looking at the map now, Luminosity again in the center, but they are getting shot at and approached by a number of teams. A grenade, a lot of grenades in the kill feed. Luminosity just got...
There's a lot of dips to play, but there's no buildings.
Working in Silence also pushing back onto Empire now. Finna down, Valley 8 down. I think it's all left to Michael. No, there's a flank, I believe, coming in from Adam. So Working in Silence got...
LG just got eliminated.
The problem is Adam needs to act fast. He needs to act now. There's not much time. The rest of his team is about to get wiped. Where is he?
I don't know.
I mean, I see him on the map, but he's tossing nades. Okay, able to stall her at least a little bit and give Michael some time, but
is he? Because Survivor are also pushing on the east, and I think Empire at this point, they're kind of playing. They're playing to pick up some scavenge kills, some points.
I mean, Michael needs help.
Michael is playing. He's not playing that way. He did not get the memo. He is playing to win this fight, but look at all this blue zone grenades, clearing everything out. More from Fire. RBN's also been knocked.
Okay, so Michael will go down. Adam now with an opportunity. As I say that, it's going to be Zvire finding that kill. And now the rest of them come, so at least Adam has secured a placement for his team, even though it is outside the top 8. Now he has the monumental task of taking down Zvire solo.
Does Zvire know where he is? They are going to be playing towards the rest of the zone, looking to clear him out, so they are checking for him. Oh, for a second he had to drop on one, but Kalinick strikes through. So Empire are eliminated, and now we are in the placement. Points 55 go out just a few moments after.
Firefly now in the crosshairs of Forever, and they would like to make quick work of this. There's still some circle to be controlled and some space to be found as Panadrito will...
Yeah, bro, they never stop moving. I can't do that.
Positioning here is a little awkward for Forever to fight because they do have people off to the side, but I feel like Forever is...
I'm completely... That guy... Look
Look
at that guy right down below him.
Right into his line of sight soon. He's going to start the fire. Andrew will find one with the... Oh, he'll find two with the FAMAS.
And then...
Bad time to reload the FAMAS.
Reload. But now that UAC is going for the run overkill to confirm that, but yeah, there was very little chance for Forever to survive longer.
That was a bad time for a reload.
Took the FAMAS away from the field. But now looking at the top 6 teams, Bunt goes down to Kraken. Projector now still rolling on in, and Falcons. 3 kills for them, but all 4 are up.
Yeah, and say what you will about him going down, but he saved his team with that FAMAS, got the knocks, and allowed one of his members to survive while they got the wipe. That was a beautiful, beautiful spoiler play from him and from Firefly. I'd love to see it. Yeah, you know, we're about to lose the team, but that was the best case scenario for them, and they executed well. So well done to Firefly there.
Okay, Falcons stack the blue zone grenades on the tree, but they have been taking long-range shots at everyone all game. aim, and Vinny with the second. Now it's Kickstart gone down. Trimsy's been eliminated. It's all into
Wait.
H-Win and Tiggleton.
Firefly is still alive. He's actually still alive. One of their members is still alive. I can't see who that is. I think
Joppa. It's Joppa. I thought the double blue zone grenade
So
would
did
take him
I.
out, but he survived through it somehow. And now
Jammer
Bestia,
pack.
they pulled Falcons away, so Joppa could still salvage even more out of this round.
Yeah, the problem though is that terrain that he has to cross it might as well be hell on earth. I mean, it is so open, and you have Falcons in between. Meanwhile, on the northwest side, Goons want to find their way in as Bestia just being an absolute nuisance to the rest of the teams on the field with just so much control. Zvire is going to have to really kind of step up for the rest of the lobby of what's left of it.
Where's the
There's
circle
no
going?
chance of these teams of getting a good position or a good engagement onto Bestia.
Reacto now. They have weathered through so much, and they have 12 kills already.
Yeah.
So,
Very
I mean,
impressive game.
They haven't ever been in a position that I've noticed that I said, okay, Proyecto, they're in control, they're the dominating team, but they have just, like, taken a kill here, a kill there, a team wipe here, all coming in from the edge. How much further can they push it, though? I mean, because Falcons, they look wounded. Not only are they down to 2 players, but their position doesn't look great. Joppa goes down, so we do have the top 4 as well. Bestia are looking good, but they're kind of packed into one singular position.
I'm not learning nothing,
I
bro.
don't know who to call for this game.
Bestia, for me, I think just has the most control, but yeah, I mean that can turn on a dime. Obviously, they're in a kind of a massive dip, I guess you could call it.
Yeah.
And a lot of those angles are shooting downwards. They do have a few vehicles, but if it shifts away from them, you're right. I mean, without vehicles, without Smoke's utility, they're going to be in trouble, especially when it comes to one of the.
So what
teams
I'm
on the
learning,
outside.
Vehicles,
Angles on them, but it
utility,
just shift. It also
and
depends on what
smoke.
Zvire is going to do here. Zvire has been very
All you need.
kind of
Yeah.
not passive, but taking.
Like, this guy's got 36 rounds. I'd be freaking the fuck out.
At this point, with time running out, they're going to have to make some sort of a play here soon. Otherwise, they are just going to get picked apart.
And now, hearing those shots, you saw Mimes POV instantly swing back onto Zvire. Phase 7. Circle stays dead center where there is still very, very little cover. So I think Zvire's only play is to go through Bestia, get these points, and then see what happens later. Tiggleton goes down to the blue. That's an unforced error for Falcons, who were already so wounded.
Yeah, I didn't get to see exactly why that happened. Maybe he took a shot as Circle was closing, but now it's going to be Cloudzera to find Mime, and here we go. This is what you were worried about. It's going to be Zvire waiting for the opportunity. They saw the circle close. They realized that they had this dip to still play for the time.
Very
being,
ballsy.
an extra minute, and that is when they're starting to.
I feel like I'm gonna fall asleep. I feel like
Is that
fucking
Bestia
tired.
is recovering somewhat, and they've also gotten a knock and slowed that push down from Zvire. So this is a complete reset 3-on-3, if I'm not mistaken.
Revive Silson? Okay. They took... okay, there it is. H-Win as well, getting a kill at the end. So that's a good 2 points for H-Win solo player of Falcon. Got a kill, got a replacement with it. And now it swings that from us back over towards Posa.
And Win in a dire situation, but even still in the circle.
Yeah, me too.
If he goes out, Falcons still have 4 kills, 3rd place. I mean, you take that, especially with a blue zone grenade landing on top of him. He should be able to heal through this one. Last first aid kit.
No.
And I lied.
The timing was just a little bit
filthy,
off. He was... What,
dirty
liar.
He was like 1 tick off.
But yeah, now it's a 3 versus 3. Proyecto couldn't stop Fervero from diving down into the ex-Bestia dip. So that's going to give Zvire a good opportunity, anchoring down below with the 2
Bro, me too.
high ground. But they're barely in the zone, if you can call it that. Proyecto
I'm going to as soon as this is over.
of,
So we're on.
the zones, blue and all.
We got 3 matches left.
And as you can see, I mean, there is nothing to play in the middle of
I may not make it to the end of this, to be
Both
honest.
of them are going to have to inch forward as much as they can. And the other issue is I don't know how much utility or meds these guys have. Looking at Posa, he has nothing. There's 2 energy drinks between the 2 of them, and that is going to be a big issue. As Cloudzera, I love this aggressive play. These are the types of plays Gizero will find the knock that will win you games, though. If executed properly, here comes Posa now. Again, no meds whatsoever, so he's not going to be able to recover that half HP. His helmet also half.
Yeah, but
Tough
look
spot.
at Poser. Poser running around the smoke, doing a good job of keeping things wild, but traded. Posera with the double. Gizera and Posa down. 1 versus 2. Favor of Spire. 10 kills for them. They're going to make this a 13-kill win. Kraken with the FAMAS. Eyes on the bike coming in. Smoke at his back. Trying to make sure that he doesn't get 1v2'd. But that's a good grenade right on his.
Oh, just like that, Spire will clean that one up. Patience on the south side paid off for them. What that was, again, we talked about before the game even started. What is the issue with Tego? Oftentimes these end games are very open, and that's exactly what we saw there. Forever got caught up by one of the teams that was currently setting up over there, which was either LG or Alcadesia. I don't remember, but a lot of teams, and that's kind of what happens
Yep.
when you run into groups out of qualifiers.
No more fast forward.
Teams often tend to be.
I guess here we are.
Teams normally don't go, or rotations are wonky. So yeah, we saw a lot.
Yeah, is your girl making home, bud?
A lot of decisions in terms of macro, in terms of rotations, and all those good things. Oh wow, that was right. Oh, Projecto are in first place. I didn't believe you at first, but yeah, hey. But anyway, a lot of the meta in terms of is
In the kitchen chatting.
the
Well,
best
you jump in
decision,
Discord
the
and
best
chat
decision,
before I fall
assuming
asleep.
what we know about all the other teams in the lobby.
Yeah.
And this being
Yeah.
the first
Bunch of
regional
chatty
event of the year,
Cathys.
even though they play scrims, you're still making a couple of guesses. This is why I say that there's the meta of the tournament that has to develop in the tournament itself. And that's only gotten more complicated when we introduced more and more maps. This was the one Tego that we played today. Tomorrow is going to be a Tego with a completely different set of teams, so you can't expect it to play out the same at all, even if the circle was in the exact same spot. So honestly, you kind of just have to wait sometimes and hope it plays out. But if not, GG next. We're on a new map now.
Well, with this, we got El Proyecto that's in first place with 34 points. Alcadesia is going to be in second at 32. Then a bit of a drop down for Falcons. Luminosity Gaming, bigger drop off down into Bestia, but going to be tied up with Zavire after a stellar performance. Cluzera, 8 kills. My lord, that is a massive step. A third of their total points right now are just the kills that he managed to pick up, Cam.
These people right here, we have no idea who they are.
We know that they got some shooters on that team. Can they do it again? That's the big question. They only got 1 point, I think, from the first 2.
This half of this team on the half of the second team, Al,
not exactly their strength.
whatever the hell they are, or half of the Sonics from last year.
Whenever we're looking at Alcazar,
The Falcons from last year.
Gooner's just better, or was it just the fact that they managed to catch a nice flank on him? It was just out of nowhere. It felt like Gooner's just dropped right down on QAD.
No, they just caught him in a really good fight, and they just won all of their gunfights. I mean, we saw that Groza try to sing. It just was not enough, and they were able to kind of clap back and basically just wipe them. So very good by Gooners. Again, we said that roster is very strong.
Yeah.
Cammy called them the I don't know if you said the dark horse.
Yeah, bro, I am.
I mean, they on any given day, there's not a team in this lobby that I don't think they can compete with, and that's exactly
I am
what we just saw.
struggling over here.
Gooners are kind of sneaky whenever you look at it, right? Because like whenever you see Goon on there, a lot of people are like, "Who even is Goon?" Well, Goon is in charge of the Gooners and also known as Greg Shot, who is a historic player in PUBG, as most people are going to be familiar with. So, I mean, there's a lot of history on that. I mean, we got like Simply Mad, Icy Flex, but there's a lot that squad can manage to pick up. So, keep drawing our attention back over there. Does it feel like to you guys? I'll throw this one back over to you, Cam, that the lobby is starting to cement in more now? Or if anything, on that last map, did it feel like we're starting to find some of these squads finding their longer stretching legs? I know we're only in the first couple of maps, but we've only got 3 days in this.
Yeah, we only have 1 day of each group collection, right? Like, this is the 1 day that A and B is going to come out together. It's 1 map. Matt, you just said it yourself. We're only 3 maps into this one, and this Tego was even more open than that one Miramar that we saw just previously was. So I'm not going to take too much away from it just yet, to be honest. Like, it's just 1 fight. Alcadesia, they lost 1 fight. Spire won
Proyecto,
1 game.
they're in first right now off of consistency. Were you expecting that coming into this?
I mean, not necessarily, but like we're talking about, I mean, it's early. Any team can take an early lead, but Proyecto's playing well. You know, to their credit,
Yeah.
they're absolutely playing well, and that's what we absolutely love to see. And I mean, looking at the roster, you can expect them to play well, right? You have Haven, you have Posa, Kraken, like Gizera. Like, are we really surprised that they happen to be, you know, doing this good this early? No, not
Yeah,
surprised at all. But yeah, given
It's
the other
basically
strength of
Luna
teams.
Galaxy plus Gizera, and Luna Galaxy was the best Latin American team last year. I think it was pretty clear at the end that they were just better
Stat-wise, I
than
think
Legacy.
so,
So
I mean,
Yeah, it's hard to argue.
it just hurts whatever you're looking at. It was specifically with how they're managing to navigate so much of what's going to be going on. It looks like we're getting ready to jump into just game number 3 in here in 1 second. I will say though,
Jump
guys,
it, boy.
game number 4. I'm sorry. Yes, we are ready to go. So let's go ahead and switch it over. New map, new time, plain path down in the south, cutting just right through the middle of everything. You guys take it away.
This one needed the dual
You
plane.
will, Cameron.
That'd have been nice with dual plane.
where are we going?
To the
Test track.
Jadena City.
I'm
Again?
not sure. Again, as it always does. I mean, yeah, these circles will either end somewhere around
Gonna go right here.
the south. Like I'm specifically looking at Tin Long Garden.
Circle's going right here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
most of them have gone like towards that stadium area or like test track. I finally did have a just regular pub game that ended in Jadena City. It was very weird and awkward as I predicted it would be. I just
Yeah.
don't like Jadena City, dude. I'm sorry. it's like I like this map a lot. I just
Yeah.
do not like Jadena City. I can't. I'm not.
It is weird. It is a weird city. Its position on the map is weird. Its layout with the river is weird. Clausera trying to go around this tree is
That
weird.
tree is
Yep, told you.
just
Yeah.
guarding him. It's like Rodman guarding someone in the NBA.
The circle's always gonna happen on this map
Ridiculous.
No.
But
I
yeah,
was
we're gonna get
worried-
us test track.
because test track and stadium.
Yeah, it is gonna
There it
happen.
is.
It's just always gonna happen right there.
Over exaggerated how test track favored this map is. The reason why that is, if you're, unfamiliar with the observations of this map, let's call it that, is because of the unplayable nature of a lot of the mountains. Is that it kind of just by happenstance forces it towards test track throughout the round. And so with the circle here that we just saw, there are a couple of unplayables to the north. This could hard shift to the north and play around that river, but if that doesn't happen, it is likely going to end to the west of test track. So that's what we're talking about. I do think that it's a little over criticized sometimes, but it does certainly have standing in our observation of how the circles tend to work out.
Before I get on to I'm just curious. How do you actually feel about Rondo as a map?
I really liked it when it first came out. At the very least, it is certainly something that is incredibly different. It is the fact that
Just
the
so large, right?
unplayables manage, yeah, and it's got some open areas. It's like, how did I describe it? It's you come to the late game a lot earlier than you usually do, and that means that the final 2-team, 3-team standoffs can be
Bro, I'm
interesting
trying.
because you can take your time with it. There's a lot more open area, more rotations.
I'm pretty sure I fell asleep early in the stream.
Less third parties because you're already down to 2 or 3 teams. But the open
I want
areas,
to say that I fell asleep earlier.
the unplayables can be difficult sometimes, and the fact that it is unique to the rest of the map pool, I think, does mean that it has value.
I want to say I did.
Being in with everyone else.
Yeah, and after last year when we introduced this map as well, I talked to a lot of the players, as we all did, and the consensus is they actually like this map. For the most part, a lot of the players like the map. They like the ability to rotate fairly free. Again, this is a very unique map in the sense that it is 8x8, but it's almost entirely covered by landmass, right? And most of that landmass is playable, whereas, Erangel, Miramar, you have a lot of unplayable areas. And the other cool thing about even just casting or watching this game in comp is we've been able to see pretty much the majority of
These guys do stuff that I've never done, and maybe I should, because when people pull up on your compound, they see your car out in front, so they're like, "Oh, there's people there." Where these guys pull their fucking car into a spot where you won't see it until it's too late.
We're on that side, so we've pretty much been everywhere. Except, I will say, I don't think we have been to the west or southwest once, or very often in any competitive play. I cannot remember a single circle that has ended there.
I want to say maybe it was a scrim that I saw last year that went there, but it's not a common place for us to go. And as you can see on the map, we're not going there again this time around. We have to wait till at least tomorrow in Americas before we see that. Luminosity now rotating in through Mayran, hugging the river, making sure that no one in Knox Factory or Test Track would have an angle on them to stop their rotation, cut them off at the knees before they even get the game started.
And moving off to the rest of the teams, we also have, you know, Empire that is set up quite nicely there towards the center, just to the east of Stadium. You have Falcons also set up, as well as El Proyecto, and a lot of teams now starting to trickle in. We have a clump there down to the southwest, but the north also has two teams that are going to be contesting with Outlaws and Goon. So most of these teams finding their way into the circle. Again, that's generally how the early Rondo game works. Neox Factory also completely open, and then you still have some teams all the way in the outskirts. I mean, I'm looking at Zvire all the way down to Forever.
Hello TikTok, hello YouTube, hello Twitch.
I think this is the
I hope
first
you're glad
game
watching,
with the hot
happy
drop that we
watching
saw
me
with
sleep,
1-2 on
because
the
that's what I've been
start.
doing.
And I think there was an early engagement.
Kick, I guess if you're still there, if you're still a thing. I guess you're still a thing, because I started you.
So many teams all rotating in with
So,
similar timing.
for whatever that means.
Now dots right now, they're not too far from Alcatraz to the east.
No, but if I was gonna do Z Squad content, I would get drunk and fall out of my chair and just go to sleep with my ass out.
It looks like it might be a
Just lay out in the
round. I don't think it's gonna last. They're gonna stay
point the camera toward my bed and just sleep with my ass hanging out, you know?
Dude, the awkward thing about just this circle in general, and
You
the
ain't
teams
seen
that
shit,
we're
B.
talking about is just test track. Test track is that that multi-layered setup, and then generally when
That has
teams
never
get to that
happened.
high ground, they're able to at least farm early enough before they're pressured from their backline.
That has never happened. That is
So the
fake
problem is going early
news.
Now is just such a risk with how many teams are ending up bunching around that area. But if this does indeed end towards
You're
test
worse than
track,
CNN, bud. Worse than CNN.
the top side of
Fake
that track
news.
is just farm. I mean, it can be
Yeah.
devastating when you have a team up there.
The problem is getting out of there. That's the real
Yep,
thing. Getting
that's
in
true.
and out
Yep.
can be hard. So it's a full commitment. When we talk about committing into a city, I think it's probably harder to get into and out of test track, especially if you have to go in later in the game, which is the only time that it would be worth it at all is when you
Oh,
come
she
in
hated it, man. She did not want to drive over that truck.
which is certainly not the case now in phase 1.
Yeah, getting down from test track.
She did not want to drive the truck.
Especially when circle's not on you and everyone, you know, you've just harassed half the server, and they're like, oh, you have to move now? Oh, okay. Sure, let's see how that
Yeah,
works
we're
out for you.
totally gonna let you get away with being annoying for the past 10 minutes. Yeah, come on, please, after you. Yeah, don't worry. Just gonna-
Oh, you're a
Click.
wrestler now. Okay. Anyways, as we see Dot starting to move in, and that actually
It was all that it had.
55?
Yeah,
It is.
Sure
it
is.
indeed 55.
they're just backfilling them.
So I had to
Making their
adjust
way
my
in.
bifocals. I'm getting old.
It was all that she had. That's all that it could go.
Oh man, you don't have trifocals yet? Come on, you gotta catch up. The new technology.
Speaking of trifocals, we have 3 teams in a triangle with each other. It's going to be working in silence.
You're sitting at your computer, bud. Just join the Discord.
All just right around that test track area we were talking about.
She'll get over it.
Michael is going to find some shots over towards Outlaws, though fortunately for the Outlaws, nothing is hit yet.
Yeah, but they're
It's that
ping-ponging
QBU is singing.
between. They're ping-ponging between Empire and Sortitos. I don't think they're in a particularly comfortable.
No,
spot.
your
They're lining up
microphone
to
doesn't
use
pick
enough
them up.
space in phase 1, but they are going to be victims of the moment for phase 2, and even if the circle does shift onto
Hello?
them, they're not going to be able to defend it particularly well. They're developing a nice split, but the fact that they're so close to not just Empire but also Sortitos playing out of stadium makes me very, very worried.
Team Falcons in somewhat of a split themselves, right? It's a little more tame, but does give them a lot of control. Here we go, right underneath test track. RBN looking. Oh no, Simply Matt. Oh no, not like this. Oh, it's just down to one. Oh my goodness, bunt though.
Leave it to Bunt to use the Panzerfaust. He says it's a specialty. I say he forces it. You know, let
Fell asleep again.
Decider on that one. But yeah, this is just not a good send by Gooners. I'm not even quite sure why they felt it necessary to send it to test track so early to begin with. They came all the way in from the north. But this
What kind of
still
TV is
phase
it?
1, and now Bunt is stuck in a 1 versus 3 with working in silence. Has the JS9, has a frag grenade, but getting pushed very, very quickly.
Oh Oh my god. Oh! He almost got it. That nade almost got it. That would have been so sick for Bunt if he was able to pull that off. But the damage has been done to working in silence, at least for now. And you know, Al Qadisiyah is going to push onto that and clean up those kills. And
I'll be
look
right
at
back.
this circle shift all the way to the east with just a little south variance. That is a brutal circle.
Keep up. Tell me what happens.
Yeah, and actually, Al Qadisiyah, I think they were waiting to push, but the second they saw the circle, they pulled away from it, and they're going to be going towards the east, south of Nox Factory, backfilling Bestia, because again, in hard shifts, you know the side of the circle that's closer to the edge is going to be significantly more empty, but Empire do not have that opportunity, do not have that option. They got to go send it from the west edge through Falcons. They're alive for now. I can't believe that they're alive for now, all four making their way through. Falcons still looking at one of them. But listen, there was a lot of tree cover, a lot of hill cover, but man, Empire very lucky with that. Send! Not so much for Varus. Goes down.
Yeah, Varus and Sir. Sorry, go ahead. Slump just got. Sortinos didn't look too good, but that's a nice recovery.
Movie with an angle. TLS is down. AliRB looking to answer. And there it is. The annihilation onto forever by Sortinos.
Does that icon that they have, by the way, make you hungry as well? Like for a cookie? Like it actually looks very, very appetizing. It's very appetizing.
Does it?
Logo.
It looks like the hardest cookie ever. I'm gonna break my teeth on that thing.
Sorry, maybe that's just my weight talking, but I haven't eaten today, so
Okay, I think it's that.
grasping at straws. But here we go. Yeah, as far as that Empire rotation, you're right. There was a lot of trees and a lot of cover for them to actually make it. Otherwise, that would have been risky for sure. But they've actually landed right below Zvire, so that's going to be a good spot for them for now. But Al Qadisiyah will be the ones to also contest them on the south side. They had an opportunity to push working in silence, but as soon as they saw that circle, that was actually a saving grace for working in silence. And now Al Qadisiyah is set up right to the west of where Firefly is, next to Neox Factory.
Fake. Getting railed by potentially dangerous, who are caught between a rock and a hard place because there is 55 to their west and then Luminosity directly to their south. Zvire not too far. Empire with that threading the needle send that you were just talking about, not too far from them. And then the Outlaws coming in from the north, they were able to pull away from that earlier situation that they were in, but with 14 teams still alive, so many of them on the north here, I don't think this population is going to be able to last much longer. Look how concentrated it is up around potentially dangerous and Luminosity.
Yeah, I mean, they're basically right on top of each other. At least for Outlaws, the problem is Faravero. If they can skirt that ridge line just on the east side of where we see all these fights happening, they can sneak under and maybe get a good fight on Zvire. The problem is, again, Faravero is holding that angle. So now they're almost being funneled, as you said, into that fight between potentially dangerous as well as 55 and LG.
Nox
So if
on
anything,
PD.
that's just impressive from Faravero to recognize that and completely shut that off. I just don't know how the angle is downhill for the Outlaws, but it doesn't matter. Everything I just said doesn't matter. The circle is completely shifted to the west.
Yeah, Outlaws. I mean, what can they do at this point? Just try and copy Empire and send it through this this Y road, but like that, there's no way they're gonna get away with it. Empire had the tree cover and the hill cover. Outlaws aren't gonna have that if they just try and get in their vehicles. So what's the other opportunity? Push on foot and try and take this fight with the dug in, potentially dangerous, and Luminosity, and 55. Take a breath, and Spire, all watching that northern angle. I think Outlaws are in a really rough spot here.
They are, and the correct play might just be to salvage and get as many kills as they possibly can in a third party, because yeah, they have to go through, currently counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different teams, whether they go east or split to the north. So that is a real problem, and one of those teams to the north is going to be the Falcons. So a true test for them indeed, as they're going to decide what's best for them to move forward, whether they salvage or not. Meanwhile, Empire still just kind of chilling underneath Zvire on the south side. So they have good high ground. They have vehicles. They're also geared. Good meds. they're ready for the end game fight. Let's just assume that they get there with 4, hopefully.
Yeah. I believe we saw Roth with a bit of a scouting maneuver using the emergency pickup. Alcadesia were already on the sub-Nox factory compound, and I think he just went to the sky for a brief moment to see what he can spot around him. But yeah, I think he would have noticed what we all saw, which is everyone is still to the north, and Slabby on a wide flank around. He was originally watching Outlaws, I believe, but now look at this angle that he is trying to find on their 55 as Outlaws. Yeah, all they can do is try and send it in with vehicles. So the fact that they've only just now lost one, I think is the best that they could have hoped for.
Yeah, this is one of those situations where if a team does like a blind send, can you really blame them? I mean,
Yeah.
it's either that or certain death between multiple
Yeah.
teams. So I don't hate it. I mean, and they managed to skate through with what, only losing 1 so far? That's not bad. It's 55 now. We'll also start their move. Bestie, though, will be the receiving end of where that over the Outlaws rotation went.
Well, thankfully 55 left some vehicles behind, potentially dangerous. But now Bestia pushing on Outlaws. Outlaws went quite far with that send, all the way into Bestia territory. Nick gets stolen by Shrimsy, but Bestia still have 2 kills on the round so far. Into 1. Last one up for Outlaws to the west, and I think that's a member of Falcons. Yeah, H-Wing lying in wait, but doesn't matter because Silzen pulls on up the vehicle, clears them out. Outlaws are eliminated in 14th place, and we see Dots with some good damage onto Empire in the kill feed.
Yeah, once again, Gabriel has put himself in a forward position for the rest of his team to regroup on him, as we see Empire Gaming still 3 strong, fighting on this east side, and they are all completely cut out. Finna, though, will find a nice kill on the hot and spicy, opening up just a small amount of room for them to work with, but they still have to deal with Dots, and then more importantly, Zvire to their north.
More importantly, getting into the zone. That's the start
That
closing
also,
in 35
yeah,
seconds.
sure.
Just a small thing. Yeah, nothing much. Nothing much.
Just something to keep in the back of your mind.
Yeah, okay, good push now from Falcons onto Bestia. Drafting's down. Mime is down. 55. Oh, so much green. So much green. I thought it was Falcons, but they're helping out as well. I believe H-Wing actually got one of those first knocks. Silzen, is he the last one up for Bestia? No, he's got a teammate with Vinny in his vehicle with him, but where can they reasonably go to hang out? If they go too far to the south, they're going to be driving directly into Test Track, but here comes Luminosity. They've lurked behind. They've backfilled behind 55, and Trisk, I think, is about to get hit. Ooh, oh, hold that thought. Fire from the north.
This is just such a crazy fight on this slope, on this hillside. It's so open with so many teams still rotating in. You have potentially Dangerous now coming into backstab LG, as you also see Falcons now starting to make their push over to try to make sure that they are able to get those kills. But then you have Bestia, 2 members still kind of in the mix of all of this. This is such a mess. Potentially Dangerous if they can navigate this proverbial minefield of players. There's a lot to gain of.
So what happened while you were gone is a few guys were shooting some other guys. We got shot by some guys who died because they got shot.
Awareness from them, and again, just
That's
unfortunate
a
circumstances of the circle in these rotations.
pretty accurate representation.
Cover flare just pulled out by potentially Dangerous, but 55 wouldn't have been able to take advantage of that firing line that Triss was looking to the north because they're getting ruined by a couple other teams around them. Dots pushing on the Bestia. Bliss with 1. Sills and trades. Could go for the revive, but oh, yeah.
Oh, dodge.
I can't make it.
He didn't duck and dodge enough.
Decide either. Do you go for the revive? Do you go for the kill? I don't even know.
Oh, that's so unfortunate. But either way, yeah, Bestia will go out in 11th. They got... Yeah, they'll take 4 kills.
I woke up a little bit. That woke me up a little bit by getting up. So
always in flux and somewhat on the back foot. I think that's not bad at all for them. Meanwhile, Alcadesia, speaking of not bad, will now try to control this side of the circle, which would give them a massive advantage. They're now starting to collapse.
That's not good. The Coop has very little cover. Rello needs to get activated now. The spray comes out, but isn't able to find the knock. It's actually Talamix that takes Andrea out. He finds Jappa, but Roth goes down to Kane.
how do you survive that, bro? I'd have been dead 7 times over.
Been a lot cleaner with the blue closing in. The damage, the health bar is very, very low. They're going to be limping in, and Zavire are in the perfect position to clean them out.
What is this circle? Look, we have one member of Dots dead center, all of Falcons out off onto the north, trying to push potentially dangerous. And then you just have some super far eastern edge teams. I mean, this is, again, one of those circles.
Oh no, H-Win.
So barren in the center. These are hard to play.
Yeah. I don't blame Falcons for taking this one slow. A slow approach, get couple kills here and there on the edge. Really just... You're not looking to start fights here, you're looking to end them. And that sounds like an obvious thing to say for PUBG in general, but I think that's especially important in a circle like this. Same thing we said about Tago the previous game. You don't want to get run into a fight when there's no cover to block you from getting third-partied. So Falcons now still looking for cleaner opportunities. Good damage on the Ollie. Can't confirm the knock, but this is such a good position. This little watchtower that H-Win is in, that just applying pressure consistently is the name of the game.
Looks like is exactly what they want to continue to apply. Is Zvire is trying to get rid of the remnants here of potentially dangerous. There's 3 left at least, but Clouzero will go down, and that's going to actually come from D. Theraz will clean that one up.
Hold, how are DCA back up with 3? They were on death's door, but Spire now, I mean, their attention must have been on potentially dangerous for a while, because they're going to be forcing this fight down into the low ground, down to the valley.
Yeah, and that's a big mistake. Letting Alcatraz recover is just not it. I mean, some of the teams that were putting the screws onto them, one of them did get wiped, right? And I don't think that El Proyecto was close enough to really capitalize, but this could be an issue for the rest of the lobby. Especially 3 strong east side control pushing on Zvire. Like, they are about to get in a very strong position.
But watch Falcons, they're trying to abuse this high ground as well. Shrimsy takes Relo down. Yeah, Falcons are now in the best position in this game. They've kind of let everyone choke themselves out, and they already have 6 kills, but they were kind of picking up a few here and there. It wasn't any sort of really big, loud engagement. Oh, that's a grenade.
Oh, that grenade!
Rivero!
Oh. Taken out anyway, though, and they just go for his head onto Khadizia, but it just does not work out. As Falcons, I thought there was much more of a ridge there for AQ. There is not. I mean, it is flat over there.
But hey, now we're in the end game. A phase.
Where's it going?
Only now phase 6, and we have.
Oof.
We're down to our top 4. 4v4, v3, v1. The solo player of Shane Doe on Dots has been crying, shaking, hugging himself in that shack with all of these shots and just chaos surrounding him. No, really what is happening is that he has his attention on that doorway into the shack, and the second it opens, he's going to let loose.
You're just sitting there listening and waiting. Being in that position when you're the last one alive in your team in comp it's so annoying, because you're just constantly on edge. You're waiting for someone to crash you. I mean, granted, if you keep getting center circle and you know there's teams around you that protect you, it's great. It's wonderful because you know you're fine.
Yeah, got 3 placement points, but yeah. You hear the rustling of a leaf. You're like, oh, am I getting pushed? Because you're
guys,
in the shack.
I'm not falling asleep again. Are you falling asleep again? Get in Discord. I don't care if you can hear them.
Because
Bitch.
you can't even, this is first person still, guys.
You're on push to talk anyway, so you won't be able to hear nothing.
Unless you give
Or I won't be able to hear nothing.
yourself, unless you make yourself available to get shot.
Put yourself out
so
there,
you're
essentially.
You're in that shack. You have no clue what is around you. You got to use your ears only, and that, has its limitations.
Falcons now taking another controlled sweep here on the west side. They're going to be cruising right into the safe spot in the circle. Again,
Poor Shane Doe.
open it is, just make a vehicle for it. And they're going to start to spread out and take control. They have to know someone's in that shack, right? Yep, here comes the blue zone nade.
I mean, with the vehicles there, they have to. Double blue zone forces Shane out. Still alive. Okay, still alive, but Shrimsy goes down. And Proyecto. Oh, God, Falcons, they're so good. Godspeed, they're so good.
They are very good. And Quinn, very good with that. MK14, he's going to find a knock there. Shrimsy down, should be able to be res. 6 kills, though, 4 of which have gone Huin's way. Don't sleep on him. As now Kickstart should be moving in, and here he goes towards the rest of his team. Anchor position is safe. No one going on the wrap, but I do see Alcadizia potentially going for that wrap on the north, which could spell big issues for Falcons.
Yeah.
If they're not wary of it. Win will go
Yeah.
up to 5 kills, 7 for Falcons.
Yeah, that's the problem. This is 100% the right move for Falcons to get these kills and eliminate these players when they have the advantage of the high ground and push down on away from the encroaching blue. But it does open up the flank potential for D, and he is going to be taking that. And so Falcons, I mean, you know, part of their attention is going to be back that way, and they want to finish this fight as quickly as they can. Shane Doe does go down to a molly by Shrimzy, top 3, and now they pull away. Yeah, exactly. They are expecting this flank by Alcadizia.
I love this from Falcons, though. Again, recognizing that that is now a threat. Sure, they had Kick up there. He was the anchor, but he had to move down. He had to support the rest of the team. So giving that up is one thing, but forgetting about it is another, and that is not what the Falcons have done here. Meanwhile, Kraken from El Proyecto looking for
Good nade.
a easy frag pickup here onto Rello. That nade is beautiful.
Car's gonna blow up. Kill him.
Feet of Rello. And that
Enjoy the
causes big
vehicle.
issues, but it's stolen by
Yeah.
Shrimzy.
What was it, 10 kills for Falcons right now?
So, it's either
Yeah.
8, 9, or 10. Yeah.
10 kills.
Lost track. 10 kills. It says there right there on the leaderboard. I don't know if you know that, Cameron, but I did not.
Oh, gee, thanks. Yeah,
So
I was missing it.
I'm glad you pointed it out. As Gizera, the last one left for El Proyecto.
Yeah, it just hasn't really been too good for El Proyecto this game. And again, can't really blame them. There's so little space. They were coming through test track, I believe. They weren't really giving many opportunities because so much of the fighting was happening on the north side. So the fact that they were able to make it into the late game and get minimum 3rd place makes this an okay game, an all-right game. But Falcons with so many kills, potentially winning this whole thing,
What are you doing?
drop out of 1st place by that alone.
Yeah, and this has just been a waiting game at this point for the Falcons, right? On that west side, they have complete control. You see Kickstart flexing into the center of circle, and they have both anchor positions trained on the south and north side. So really, it's just about Falcons not making any mistakes, making sure they are playing fundamentally sound. And yeah, I mean, this realistically should be a Falcons win. But anything can happen, especially when
Camaro, wake your ass
there's
up.
still a duo up top
Yeah.
and a solo down to the south. So, you know, we've seen it many times before where, you know, inadvertently these fractured teams will work together and take out a full
Yeah.
four-man. So,
And, I mean, maybe I'm still so scrim-pilled, but seeing D, a.k.a. Fadeaway, a.k.a. Monster, and Cowboy on the same team still up, I'm finding it, my brain
Flowers.
just cannot full commit onto a Falcons prediction right now. There's something about those two players that I'm like, until they're gone, I don't know. You
That's
gotta be
fair.
careful.
that's fair. This angle, though, is very filthy from Tig.
Yeah.
Very, very filthy. We'll see if he gets anything out of it. Xera is going to have to move here. Yep. And that is the signal. Circle has posted. It is centered up. Phase 8. And Tig only wants one thing and one thing only, and he wants Gizera.
Yeah, I think it's in Gizera's best interest to deny to the blue right now. He knows how much open space is around him. If Cowboy and D get a knock or two, then he can maybe make a decision, peek out, see what's available. But at the moment, I think Gizera, especially knowing where everyone is on the leaderboard, they don't have the detail that we do with the leaderboard on the left of the screen, but they know more or less who is around them and who has been doing well. It's early in group stage, but it is still something to consider. The expected value for Gizera right now, I would say, is denying.
Maybe. I mean, it is early in the tournament at one point, but sure, either way. I mean, he could try to survive out, and hopefully Alcadizia dies first, he gets second, but regardless, the issue for both these teams, as you said, as
Like the new curtain?
Falcons just has way too much control, but at least he'll make that cross for now.
Old.
And maybe survive out Alcadizia.
Okay.
It's not looking that way, though.
No, Tickleton didn't get too much damage from Gizera. So he was able to get behind that smoke, but so much utility being thrown in that direction. I was going to say potential opportunity for Alcadizia, but no,
There
they
it
go
is.
down. So hey, listen, you and G0 are right. And now, once he is second place, then he denies. So he was able to guarantee that extra point on top of outlasting
Say,
Alcatraz. But Falcons, at the end, come out with another win, 13-kill victory. It was not a slow
thing that
start,
goes over your windows.
reserved start until they had the moment
Window
to strike, and then
curtain
the game
thing.
was theirs.
Yeah, we had
What's it
some
called?
excitement in the beginning. It was really more so a slow burn, right? The start was
Window curtain.
fairly quick as far as the teams that were
Thing.
trying to rotate early. But yeah, once that first shift happened, we saw so many teams go down, and Falcons just happened to take the best advantage of the position that they had, and they flexed out and.
Is it just me or is his camera blurry?
Great game from Alcadesia. A nice attempt at salvaging the game from potentially dangerous, especially when they were kind of caught in that early game fight with LG. But yeah, overall, Kemi, I mean, it was solid rondo. We take those.
Yeah, really good rondo. But hey,
He's
we have
washed
two
out. His
more
camera's
games.
blurry.
We are moving over to Erangel, so don't go anywhere. We are going to quick highlights, and then back to talk a little bit more. But we have Erangel coming up for the last two games of the night, so don't go anywhere. We will see you in just a minute.
They're soft. Just as I suspected. No back pocket. Yeah. I like these. You gotta unmute your mics, guys. I did not see the reporter hit Trump with the microphone. Did he go to jail?
Yeah,
Assault.
big game for them. Another solid showing as well from Alcadesia, and then potentially dangerous again. Just showing some pretty good consistency with working in silence there. And El Proyecto, again, another one of those teams, just super solid, finding kills, salvaging games where they can, and just continuing to climb up the leaderboard. Cammy, as far as the teams on the right side,
Let's go.
what do
Let's
you
go
think
find it.
about, like, for instance, Forever and Outlaws, because they were caught in some rather unfortunate and annoying situations, and in just some of our last games in general, right? Like getting caught on the edge of rotations.
I mean, both of those teams are, I would consider, underdogs in this lobby, in this
Agreed.
whole group stage. And the unfortunate part of that is not only are you, arguably potentially just not as strong in the firefights themselves, that leads to not being able to assert your dominance in rotation. So you kind of have to come
Agreed.
in delayed, have to come in late,
This
have
one?
to see what scraps are left behind, and you see that it's very difficult to make a good game out of that situation.
Yeah, it's confidence. I agree.
Look at that face. Look at the look.
Impressed by that. Mr. President, walk us through the tariff.
Mr. President, obviously you're concerned about the situation in Gaza. What are the hopes now to get the hostages back?
She just became a big story tonight, right? Yes, sir. Did you see that? Impressed by that. Mr. President, walk us through the tariff.
Mr. President, obviously you're concerned about the situation in Gaza.
No, that's funny. That's funny.
Celebrating 8 glorious years of Battle Royale mayhem. You'll find anniversary decorations across the various maps and on some of PUBG's most iconic objects and locations, including care packages, energy drinks, the plane, and various locations across Erangel. The starting island also features an 8th anniversary BobbleBot statue with special golden grenades to throw at it to see your name up in lights. We're even collaborating with M83 for a brand new BGM track for the anniversary. This milestone wouldn't be
What is
possible without
M83?
your dedication throughout the years. So on behalf of the entire PUBG Battlegrounds team, thank you for 8 wonderfully chaotic years. And speaking of your dedication, thanks to your testing, we were able to make some meaningful adjustments to the aim punch settings following the Gunplay Labs aim punch we ran in January. We're now planning on a second round of Gunplay Labs in March to test the new settings, so stay tuned for details. Next up, the arcade is getting a couple of adjustments. Team Deathmatch has several new maps to enjoy, including Destin Arena, Vikendi Train Station, and Sanhok Camp Bravo. We've also adjusted map selection probabilities, added destruction to Sanhok, and changed up the spawn kit.
Hold on. I've been saying Sanhok wrong the whole time. Are you kidding me?
Vikendi Train Station and Sanhok Camp Bravo. We've
Sanhok?
also adjusted map selection probabilities, added destruction to Sanhok, and changed up the spawn kit. For intense battle royale, the layout of safe zones, supply drops, and vehicles are now random in all maps. The starting Molotov has been swapped to a frag grenade. A random LMG crate has been added.
That's definitely Sanhok.
For fans of custom
Sanhok.
matches, you can
Sanhok.
bring in 100 people, up from the previous 24. Last but not least, we're reverting the
Sanhok.
max player count for Hot Drop back up to 64 players for even more intense action, while also slightly lowering the
Sanhok.
average
Sanhok.
You can see
Sanhok!
full details on all these changes in the
Anybody want to play Sanhok?
There's also a brand new Survivor Pass available to collect, as well as various
Stupid ass Survivor Pass.
Check out the patch notes for full details on everything. Update 34.2 is here. So put on your party hat, grab a golden grenade, and hit up the arcade.
This Survivor Pass is so good, I'm not buying it.
PUBG fans.
I'm just saying. Ain't happening.
All right, guys. So it is time to move over into the tried, the trued, what everybody knows.
Sonny
as
Erangel.
the halfway point.
Erangel.
for These two different groups moving through the group stages. So they've got to make sure that they're navigating these last two games very, very clean. We've seen repeat performances, even on our wild card maps, Cam, from pretty much the same couple of teams. But our cutoff
You're talking
is
too
top
much.
8. Do you think the fact that we're going to have some new teams step into this one now that we're going to be moving over to Erangel?
Well, like 2 new teams stepping into the top 8? It's possible. Like, I gotta relook at the overall leaderboard to see. Potentially Danger is currently in 7th place. I think is potential, but it really is just gotta look at the teams below them. 55 Esports being in 16th place overall. That's the big outlier that I see on the bottom half. I would have expected Gooners to do better, maybe Empire Gaming, but I mean 55 are a regional partner team, and you know they don't have the same pedigree of like Luna Galaxy or Legacy had the past year or two, but 16th place is not, I think, what anyone would be.
Who are they? I don't know who they are. 55
The Gooners live
Esports?
their own life, man. They either go and take down Alcadisia or they explode in Circle 1.
Are the Pachinki boys back in Pachinki?
Double-edged sword, and sometimes the sword doesn't bounce the way you want.
Falcons are going to
So,
Pachinki?
with this, let's go ahead, send everything up, plane path, go on off, and you guys take it away.
And what a absolutely vanilla plane we have to start with on our vanilla map here of Erangel, but a good opportunity
Erangel.
for all the teams to get to the loot spots they want, and then set up the rotations they want. So as far as the question Matt asked you, Cameron, I think the top 8 is obviously wide open. It's still very early. It's very, very early to tell as far as who's going to break into it or not. But 55, is a team that I would like to see just do a little more, or at least get something more out of some of these games, even if they have to salvage points wise.
Right. Yeah, no, obviously, like the top 8 or not is not going to be set in stone. Here, it's more so about putting yourself in a good position going into the second day of.
Oh, Severny Circle.
Circle 1. It tried to run as far away from the plane path as it could. This is about 30% water, and then if you, I mean, there's got to be
Say
one
if you
or two
add in the
teams that
lake,
stay-
like
Yeah,
40%, right?
Like 1 or 2 teams are probably gonna have to stay south of the river, but that means like only a third of this map is going to be on like what we're gonna consider playable terrain.
Yeah, and we've seen fortunately so many of these circles that they do tend to play out in a similar fashion. A lot of teams will initially go around that shooting range, Severity area. Then you'll have the bunch up near that road just on the south, the dirt road where you have all the pryos. And then even Crossroads will be taken just south of the Severity. So most of these teams are going to be looking to rotate early, get in those spots as early as possible. And realistically, even set up a camp at Cube would be great across crates. I mean, that is a really good spot to cut off rotations. A lot of people will be coming from that rotation as well from that side on the west. You have people going from South George and North George. So it's going to be, it's going to be similar as far as what we're used to seeing. It's just how these teams navigate the timings. Timing is everything in a lobby. You were talking about it earlier, right, Cammy?
Yeah.
Teams will really focus on just a few as far as who rotates around them, and then they will make sure that they just have the best timing. But again, in a lobby like this,
Yeah, there we go. That's what I was looking for.
And that's where we start to see a lot of the rotation.
They're gonna go far north. They're gonna go dead center of the zone.
They are using an emergency pickup very, very early. This does mean that they're not going to have any vehicles to play out the rest of the game unless they can find a couple of spawns around Severity or wherever they go. However, the reason why they're doing this is because look at what's in front of them that they're currently flying over. The rotation from Pochinki into the northern section does kind of suck unless you want to take a wide wrap towards the east around Yosnaya. But already, and Falcons should be aware of this, already there are so many teams making similar rotations, so they would just be joining in on the rat race. I don't blame them for doing this emergency pickup at all, even with the downsides. And no, Hot Spicy pulled away because of Proyecto. They wanted this warehouse.
Yeah, here's the question: where are they going?
My goodness, where is Falcons going to drop? I really need to cut that out. Falcons are, it looks like they're actually going to drop somewhere near around Severny or even maybe on top of this warehouse. And you can see El Proyecto actually just opting to go off, maybe take the next compound over. This is going to be free for them, so not a bad choice.
And they're leaving Kraken behind. I was going to say, this compound is great, but it's even more powerful if you can pair it with that warehouse. Posa is playing in between. Probably not going to stick around there for too long, but certainly for phase 1, it's not the worst split. But Falcons, they are going to land towards the north. This does give them the biggest chance of finding vehicles, which is why I think they're playing it. Look, Tiggleton's going to get one. There's probably one that I think that Shrimsy is grabbing towards the west. So they have something to play out of. Unfortunately, this position is going to be very difficult to find any information from. But hey, they don't have to take part in any of whatever is happening over here between Spire and Legacy. This center position just to the north of the lake.
This is going to be a rough game for the Falcons.
At least in phase 1 and 2. Is that a 2x on a Dragonov?
It is.
Matt.
It is. It is. I mean, you work with what you got, right?
I guess.
And as far as we watch this madman with the 2x Dragonov, I will say Falcons' decision to go north there and make sure they at least secure vehicles, get, as you said, away from all the early game fighting was a wonderful decision from them. Meanwhile, though, you want to talk about decisions that are either going to pay off or not, it's going to be Goon Squad going straight into Crossroads. This is the west side of this compound. And it's going to be up to Dots to actually defend this. You see a Panzer out in Bunt. 2 members down. It's just down to now Bunt and Simply Matt. He is going to rush in. He's got to be careful of that backblast, though. It could knock him as well.
Listen, you got to play the gamble. You got to play the gamble. But yeah, they were able to track that Bunt pushed into this building. They should expect that it's going to be Panzer they're up against. Free fire comes out, but it doesn't matter. Well, it also doesn't matter for Goon, even with that knock, because they do get eliminated. But hey, at least you have a fun little clip for your Panzer reel after that one.
I mean, that was, you could argue that's like a game-winning play for Goons, right? They're like, you know what? Crossroads is dead center. It always ends around Crossroads. Yeah. We know there's multiple teams there. If we're under-geared, look, we go there, we kill a team that actually has gear, we lead up, and then we hold. So I get it, but it just, just happened to not work for them in that situation. They got dealt with by Dots.
Yeah, that one really good, well-placed grenade to find that first initial double knock. The problem is attacking a compound, if you don't even just one knock before you send it, can help so much on a push. But Dots defend.
And you could argue whether Goons rushed that or not. They just saw the opportunity and went for it. But yeah, making sure you get that initial knock or just putting some damage and putting them on the back foot. Either way, good hold from Dots.
You don't see many people using a bolty.
To start to make their push towards the
I support it. I support the bolty play.
Still holding that eastern compound. It looks like they're actually splitting the compound in the warehouse that they were just at. And looks like the Outlaws are right there. Falcons still up to the north. And 55 coming in super late up on the northeast.
And 55 looks to be camping. There's no reason why they'd be hanging around that Kameshki road for as long as they are. I don't know if they're expecting Al Khadizia or not, because they're coming in through Hovka. As we're watching Zvire again in this sort of more centralized back and forth. Bestia to the east of Cloudera, solo player. But he goes
Zvire,
out.
what is their play here, Cam? Do they? Yeah, they just pull out. I don't think it's worth it here.
No, it's not. And this position by Bestia is very weird. Like, it looks super open because it is, but in this circle, there actually isn't that much of a threat to them yet.
No. There's nobody on the south side. Literally no one. They are the southernmost team currently, like, as far as direct south. Yeah, you have some teams like Potentially Dangerous. You also have Sortito like coming in, but they are nowhere near any angles. So this is good positioning so far by Bestia, and they are aware of it. They're looking around to make sure that they can't get flanked.
Yeah.
Well, especially because the south side of that hill is actually facing above, so they have cover from that as well.
Right.
LG doesn't have an angle on them, so yeah, this is good.
Yeah, and the reason why they're not pushing into the gas station that Rebo gave up is just because that safety that you're talking about with that ridge line from the south and the visual cover with the trees to the north. They probably won't stay there, depending on where phase. Two, like, even if they're still in the zone, but it's certainly good for now. But working in silence, hanging out in Severny, they've been playing with Forever for a little bit. Forever have the exit angle, as well as the two players playing outside of Severny to the west.
Perfect.
So working in silence don't actually have the best spot in terms of rotations, because like to the east is going to be Falcons. But flip side, Forever are more split. Their attention is split. So if all working in silence need is one knock on either of the two players in Severny, and the game gets flipped.
Yeah, and Forever, for their take, it was just trying to cover as much as they possibly can while still maintaining some form of presence in Severny, like you were saying. So I like this from them, but they do need to be careful. If they overcommit, again, as you said, it's going to be a problem for them, and it also could be a problem for working in silence. We'll see. But aside from them, it's actually another team. It's Firefly. Firefly have so far have.
Me too, bro. That's why you need to get in here and just talk. Get in here and let's just chit chat. Because this is not working for me.
They did avoid the 55.
This is not working.
Legend camp. They instead cut through Stallber, and phase 2 sticks to the north, pulls away from the river. Still a bit of water in play, but this shouldn't be too disruptive to most teams. The Falcons now, their position is suddenly a lot better.
Yeah, they have the gas station. They have the gas station, and I'm pretty sure they could send, or they might already have one sent over to the shelf, just to the south of that gas station, which is also very strong to help control the beach line, because you just get more of an angle on those rotations, and it looks like they are trying to cut that off indeed, but actually getting tagged by Rello in the glider. So harassment there, and finally, the double nade! Huge by Paradrito.
Yes, but working on silence, they're looking to steal. Forever holding this position, and backup has arrived, but that's not where you want to park your vehicle. Those tires are going to be gone. That UAZ is no longer going to be usable. But hey, they got at least one kill. And Falcons now, they're defending against a push from Fire. A lot more aggressive of a push here. H1 with a knock.
H1 very careful, but he gets cut from the windows. Fadevero will find that one. Win. Get the one that he had knocked flushed out. So still 3 up though. Kickstart in trouble. And the rest of the Falcons now trying to come, but Rebo with a knock on that nade. It is starting to fall apart for the Falcons, and they just have to give this up. Nice hold there, nice crash, I should say, by Zvire.
Yeah, I think Falcons were still in the process of figuring out where they wanted to play out from, and so timing, just Zvire came in with a really, really good.
That was rough.
Really good velocity there, taking H1 down, taking Kickstart down.
That was rough.
Empire and potentially dangerous. Playing outside of the zone. Potentially dangerous have been rotating in from the southwest coastline of Erangel. Quite a while. And now Adam's going to try and disrupt the rotation further. Not going to land too much damage. So Labby actually swaps away from that angle.
Empire
And
is
they're through.
they've been slow rolling this southwest.
Hello. Did he get bolted from? Did he get bolted from the glider?
Or just knocked? I don't know.
He got fall damaged. Yeah, that's how he got taken down.
Maybe he forgot to pull.
Well, he got he got hit in the head, but like.
I know. I kid.
Oh man.
Down he
I don't
goes
know if we
though.
have a replay of that, but.
Empire though, again, doing a really great job of finding that patience, and they're just slow rolling the southwest side of the circle. They now find themselves in. They still have vehicles. I like this. Their issues are going to be when they get pushed or potentially pressured by potentially dangerous. But overall, they have a nice position here to work right above shooting range. So again, really like to see that. Great positioning. Not surprising at all when we look at the players on that team, especially Adam, right? We always know Adam to be a very intentional player when it comes to his rotations. And look at this.
Oh my God, Gizera with the who says bolt actions aren't meta?
M24, just right to the dome.
Oh, thank you, production, for that replay. We absolutely had to see that.
Rilla was flying very low, though. Was he trying to land, or was he out of gas?
I think he was. I think he was trying to land.
Oh, man. That is unfortunate to be plucked out of the sky like that, like a cherry. Just yoink. Gizero trying to find a second knock here with his M24 bolt. And his sights are aimed at the LG boys at the Alamo.
Listen, at this point, he can hit whatever he wants, I believe. Gizera, wait a second. The bolter gets bolted. And LG are now, not LG. Sortitos sending it to the little ridge to the east of Severnity. Good grenade by Scooby, but can't overextend.
He wanted it. I could tell he wanted it bad. He was ready to push, but smart to pull back on that one as they were open from the barn just in case there's issues there, or even just from Crossroads in general. That is an open road, and now it looks like there is going to be a push from LG, and
Mero!
That's a nice pull away from El Proyecto. They're going to just grab Gizera and get out of there.
Yeah. Good retreat. Had to give up that spot. LG find a really good position and potentially dangerous. They have been traveling for years.
Pick your ass up. You fall asleep, I'm fixing to fall asleep. And that's not a good deal.
And they're alive for now, but they still haven't found a place to land.
Not good.
And Dots are still defending this position at the crossroads. Down towards Empire. Grenade comes out from Ribo.
Either wake up or give me money. You got two options: wake up or give me money.
And with the Falcons,
I don't make the rules, but I just enforce them.
55 and Alcadisi are really the ones to battle it out for this east side. You do have Outlaws, though. I would love to see Outlaws get a third-party cam. Just get some involvement where they're not the ones getting shot at, and they're actually putting some pressure on these other teams.
Blue zone. Frost is down. I don't know if that frag grenade is going to find much, but...
Oh, there's no way that landed in there, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was I guess like a panic grenade, not in the sense of like, oh god, I'm dead, but like I really want to confirm this point because we're inside the so far.
Well, Severny's just another issue in and of itself, because if this shifts even just slightly to the east, it's going to cut them out, and all those teams are just going to have to battle for survival, or even just battle to salvage points. Because getting out of Severny at this point, with what's surrounding it and how many teams are currently in a position to receive those rotations out, is just going to be really difficult.
Assuming they have vehicles and tires left, but now Empire coming in from the south, they find a little shelf spot, the shack just to the south of the warehouse. Dealt a big bunch of damage by Bestia, and we know that. Oh yeah, there they go. There was the push. They got grenades, El Proyecto, but Bestia could be deterring them from pushing further.
And for Empire, again, getting into the spot, they rotated, they slow rolled it from the southwest. The fact that they made it here, and now they're in a spot where they can.
Oh shit! Scared the bejesus out of me, dude.
Proyecto, and Sortitos. They're in a. I don't know. How do you feel about this position? Because on one hand, they could potentially get a good number of kills.
I have to get rid of that sound.
Easily get
It keeps
overrun
flagging me on YouTube.
to then extend that power into the late game seems pretty. Oh shit! Hold that thought. 55 are sending it, and Tiggleton is holding.
Yeah, expect no less. Even gets the little feetsies to finish off 55. Tiggleton and Shrimsy, I mean, really just taking that situation, taking care of 55 while Shrimsy made sure to have his back. And that's not
Good job,
surprising at all.
Tiggleton.
Back to your point about Sortito, I think they're just in the best position to gatekeep as much as they can, and then once they scoop up all those points, just, yeah, sure, if you get in, great. If not, then at least you got all the kills from the teams that were rotating through you in Severny. Or, I mean, other case scenario, a lot of these teams try to...
Well, I guess since you gave me money, you can go to bed.
And then they
Bitch.
just backfill and still pick up some of those points once the circle posts. So overall, they're in a good position for kills and points. I'll say that.
Firefly do get eliminated in 14th place. They tried to take this path.
Yo, some bitch.
Now by working in silence. Shots by Oproyecto, a knock onto Bestia.
I hope your girl and her friend are not tired and they stay up all night yapping, and you can't.
They're trying to play
And you
around
can't
this
sleep
bridge,
tonight.
Similar to how they were playing earlier, to the east of that gas station. This is a moment like minutes ago, so don't need to remember the exact.
I think that's what I'm gonna have to do. I think I'm gonna put my tips and my subs.
Got the revive. They have a shack and a small little ridge.
I think I'm gonna put my tips and the subs as a like a scare,
To work with that for now
a scare sound,
we're starting to
like
see
a
mess that is
something
Severny.
like a blood curdling scream or something, you know?
The thing here for Sortito is they're not really being pressured by any of the other teams above them. That's why I like EMP as well as Proyecto, because there's just the angles aren't there. So Sortito can just free farm this as long as they play it correctly. There are a few members coming up on the ridge. That flash is gonna land right in NCLS's lap. As now this is starting to get tricky. Zvire should be engaging on this soon if they hear this third-party fight. And you even see working in silence now on the north side picking off.
Yeah.
Sortito's about to get pinched hard.
Kind of a bold pathing by working in silence, how open that is up there, but this is giving them such a great angle
working.
to stop Forever's push down, deal extra damage to Sortito, so now they have the advantage here.
You have money. I want it. Give it to me, please. Give me your money. Just hand it to me. Okay, just send it right over. Thank you. All right.
Yeah, I'm surprised as well that working
I'm gonna
in
clip
silence was
that.
able to get across that road.
And
on
then
the
I'm
north
gonna
side.
use
I think
that.
Maybe Sortito was just so tunnel visioned on what was going on closer to them, or maybe they just smoked it and we didn't see. But either way, great play from working in silence, picking up 7 kills total this game, and now working their way on the north side to try to sweep out Zvire and the rest of the teams up there.
See. Does it not? Do I not? Am I not talking? Oh,
You don't have.
I'm a
any vehicles
dumbass.
left. I mean, all those vehicles are
Dumbass. This is dumbass.
Stop Forever's push down, deal extra damage to Sortito, so now they have the advantage here.
You have money. I want it. Give it to me, please. Give me your money. Just hand it to me. Okay, just send it right over. Thank you. All right.
Yeah, I'm so
Okay, just send it right over. Thank you. You have money. I want it. Give it to me, please. Give me your money. Just hand it to me. Okay, just send it right over. Thank you. Okay, so
And right there, I mean, they just
Did that.
ran them over. Joshy, what a snap to the gentleman that
I'll
was
go
on
through
that
later.
box. Just
I'll take that
super
and add it
impressive
as a,
stuff. That was sick.
Yeah. But here comes Empire. Here comes Sortitos.
as something.
Sortitos, one of them got knocked.
Donation
by,
maybe or
who
something.
was in the kill feed. But Dots really need to manage their position now. They're in the warehouse. That's the important part. But Sortitos, Empire, they can run around, but this will open them up to.
What do you mean,
getting
bitch?
Tagged by Luminosity.
What'd I do?
or Bestia. So I'm not quite sure on who's in the better position here. Dots, unfortunately, though, they don't really have a lot of choice. They're kind of stuck into that position. Falcons are eliminated. We are one team away from hitting placement points.
Yep, and LG sits comfortably in that central compound. As we now see Dots as well as Sortito, Zvire all have to rotate in, and then you have this weird south edge play where you have Bestia, Empire, and Outlaws just all sitting in like either a single shack or a compound that is nowhere near in with open terrain to cross. I think at least for Outlaws, they do have somewhat of a downhill and cover to make it down to edge of circle, but I mean, this is an open bowl circle essentially.
He's at the ready. Yeah, that open bowl waiting to get tagged up. Well, they're able to spread out enough. Potentially.
Why are you calling me a bitch, Camaro?
Back. But now Spire, can they push? There is Alcadizia on the bridge overlooking them. So there's not enough cover for them to really eliminate potentially Dangerous. They're getting the knocks, but I think potentially Dangerous should be able to revive a number of those players. Spire out on the edge. Back
Your new name is Camerican?
It is blowing up between Dots and
This is a real bloody back and forth.
Your new name is Canada.
Those points, 10 kills for Dots, and they will go down. But out of the placement points, a hell of a game. That's still solid in my book. There's nothing to be upset about. Maybe some of the positioning at the end, who knows? But yeah, very well done by Dots.
Canada.
points. That's
Canada.
there. They're out. Good damage by Bestia.
Canada.
Snakers
I can't say it.
as well. D within the knock on fair bit from Zvire. They're still trying to find
Canada?
a way into the zone.
Canada.
Bestia looking with a lot of
Canada.
multi this game in
Canada.
particular. I think
Canada.
the Northern
Your name is
Circle
Canada.
allows so many teams to rotate faster than they used to. Have to do less selective
Welcome
gear,
to
but
my
Dots
liberal
wasn't
welcome to my
able to finish the
welcome
shot.
to my
Does he get the fadeaway with the nade, though?
communist regime.
Like it, he won't be able to
Canada.
go, so Bestia will go on a reset here, and where are they going to go? I mean, they need to move, and this is the issue. LG now on the rooftops with all the angles, just
Canada.
devastating the roster of Bestia here. Mime trying to find cover. They might be able to get this res, but they
Dead.
need to leave, and that nade about to land right next to... Oh, it was a Viddy. It was a blue zone. If that was an actual grenade,
Freeloading
he'd
sons
probably
of
get down, but
some
he's
of
now hooking in
them
that game.
freeloading some of
Yeah,
bitches.
Bizzler's looking for more targets. Bestia are alive, but this is what we teased earlier.
Somebody
They
shoot
don't
that
have a lot
quad
of
team.
terrain to play with. At least they're not getting harassed from the warehouse anymore. But still, how do they move forward into Luminosity's territory? Luminosity have so much room to play
shit.
around with. That might have been a shoulder shot by Bizzler, only dealing 89 damage. And there it is. The circle is going to continue to favor them. I don't even think there's a big risk of Luminosity
Some
being
beach.
overrun. They might be limited
No.
on kills because
Somewhere.
like, Fire versus potentially Dangerous versus Alcadizia could be, you know, they could probably share most of those kills amongst each other before they even step into Luminosity's territory. But I'm going to call it now. Like, this is Luminosity's
Good
territory.
shot with that K9.
They can't-
Yeah.
It would have to be a major throw for them to not take this chicken dinner.
The issue for the other teams is just no realistically good way for them to approach what
Dude,
they're doing. They're on the
fucking
loose.
red zone, bro.
So many different sightline advantages, and yeah, there's just not much for the other teams to do unless they just happen to catch a knock or two. So
Calnix?
meantime, yeah, Calnix will wipe out potentially Dangerous almost by himself. So Zvire continuing to climb in this game.
Yeah.
Alcadizia
Zvire get
though starting to
eliminated.
push on the north side.
Yeah, Zvire eliminated immediately after, and that does give so much space for Alcadizia to push in like they are. Suddenly there was no one on the north, and they have so much freedom to push down south now. Luminosity even extended out to try and take care of Bestia, but they had to pull their resources back, pull their forces back. Roth with grenade in hand, trying to nail it through that window, is able to make it, doesn't hit Snakers. But the pressure at Luminosity now is not going to be quite as easy of a finish as we suspected.
Yeah, that also from Roth was probably one of the cleanest nades I've seen today. I mean, Sniper's kind of lucky that he just either ran out of the room or just happened to miss it. But beautiful nade placement by Roth. As you said, it is pressure nonetheless, even if it does miss. And so they at least got LG off of the roof. That is the most important part.
Yeah.
Or
But
at
I
least
worry
one of
for
the
D.
roofs.
I worry for Deegan taken out by NCLS. Spotted by Bizzler. But look at this lineup that he has. They are none the wiser that a solo player is behind this tree.
God, he wants to make that run so bad, but Bizzler won't even let him. A tap and maybe even a tick of the blue, but he will go down. And so now it's just left to our top three, Cammy. It's LG with Khadizia with 3, and then the solo still of Bestia. Mime just doing his best impression of living as long as he can. And he's okay for now, fortunately. He's in that circle, so not too much stress for him to move just yet, but I'm sure LG still have an idea of where he's at.
Yeah. As long as Vox turns around every 20 seconds or so, then it shouldn't be a problem stacking blue zones in the building, but there's still a safe pocket for Luminosity to survive in. Little angle outside of this door. Vox is holding. This is such a good setup by Luminosity, and all the utility that Alcadizia have thrown, they hasn't really found much at all. I'd be surprised if they had much more in terms of frags and blue zones. And so what they were hoping would be an opening into this compound, I think, is just going to have to be a wash. Smoke is the next best thing they have, and that's not a good sign.
Yeah, I agree, but you never know.
I agree, but smoke's a smoke.
We've seen so many times where teams have the superior
Smoke 'em if
position
you got
and
'em.
Something just goes wrong. Something just happens. A solo ruins something. Like Mime actually was able to sneak out.
Yeah, that's big.
So LG now currently also confined to their buildings, as you need to be. The ridges on the northwest side of this are very difficult to hold against if you are in the compound, so it's not surprising to see that Alcadisia has spread out amongst those ridge lines and are now looking for just a knock, just an opening, anything to get this party started for them. But yeah, phase 9 is about to be in play, so currently the middle is closely and
Coming
mostly
out,
controlled
so
by
let's
LG.
get the party started.
Count Mime out. Like, Mime is most famous for being a playmaker to create openings for the rest of his team, whichever team might be on, to then like take over the fight, take over the game from that point. But even as a solo player, that factor still remains. He can catch players off guard so often with positioning. But well, spotted by Snakers. So it wasn't a high, I'm not saying
It
there was
was
a
a
high
good
chance of
point.
it happening.
It was a
but
good
yeah.
point. No, you're fine. It was fine. Oh, Heady. Little Heady on Roth. That's going to catch him. And Snakers, can he get him through the bars? He can. I hate those damn bars.
Everyone does. Everyone does. But hey, now that Mime's gone, Luminosity can focus on the north. We have a repeat of the 4 versus 3, and now Snakers and Fox, they're even running out to the east. Gonna look to find a crossfire with Gats and Bizzler anchoring inside the compound.
And this is the issue, is Mime was more or less acting like a deterrent there for Alcadisia as far as the defense against LG, but now that he's gone, LG is starting to spread out. They're looking for these off angles. And look how open D and Roth are from the angle coming in here from Snakers and Vox. So an easy spray should be a knock there. He's not able to finish it. Oh, he is. So Hugo down here. It's just left to 1, and of course LG is going to close that one out. What a game from them.
Damn.
12 kill first place.
Yeah, didn't even allow who is it? I think Cowboy to go for the deny. I saw that frag grenade in hand in a 1 versus 4, fighting for a top position in the group stage. I suspected it was a self frag, but doesn't matter. Didn't get away with it. 12 kills overall for Luminosity Gaming, putting themselves back up in the conversation for top 3, top 4, because it was a bit of a rough midsection of tonight's games for them.
Yeah,
but
and
hey, they're
that's
back
the-
in top.
Yeah, and that's the really nice part about today so far is, yeah, sure, we saw Falcons doing well LG, but we got a little mix of everything. We still have 1 game left. Obviously, this is just the first day of group stages, but so far it's been looking quite competitive. So we are going to send it to the highlights, and then we'll come right back, and then after that, we'll send it to the final game of the day. Stay tuned.
You're back. Amarillo by morning from San Antonio.
Whew. It has been a bit difficult for Luminosity today. They've managed to pick up 2 wins now, but it's been a bit inconsistent in the other games. I mean, we can look across and see the fact that it has been a 12th, a 13th, and a 13th outside that, but they're still keeping themselves in a good position. That's great for Luminosity, but I gotta say, it also does feel like the whole lobby is heating up. We're seeing people get shot out of gliders, Joshy making crazy pushes into compounds with a guy that's got a Panzerfaust and an M249 at the same time, Tiggleton making some pop-off plays. Cam, is it the break over? Everybody ready to go again now?
This is look at the leaderboard, and we're gonna see it in a second. Okay, I'll hold that thought here. Luminosity, 22 points. They have been playing very like old school E United, where they will just
Good call.
send it to center and play for really, really big games off of good positioning, which is strange because the core of Luminosity, we know them as gas cans. It's just snakers coming in with the history of the E United, the Oath. At one point was Luminosity, and then eventually Falcons that we know and love. But they seem to be really focused on just sending it towards center, and they have a couple of chicken dinners, so it's not a bad play. But to your point that you were saying earlier, it also makes it very inconsistent.
I guess it's a more consistent version of what's going on with the Gooners, Godspeed?
Yeah, Gooners. I mean, Gooners have been involved in a lot of like big fights. It's just some of them go their way and some of them don't. I mean, that's the best way to say it.
I'm not gonna ever talk trash about people that want to go for early fights, man. I'm a guy that thrives off of it, and I love the fact that Gooners are playing that way.
No, of course not. But the issue is, though, again, is and at least
Go your ass to sleep, old
I've
fucker.
always preferred, and I know a lot of other people preferred playing in a stacked lobby with good teams because you
Go
kind
your
of
ass to sleep,
expect
old man.
what other teams are going to do, right? Like there's a certain set play that top teams will do. It's less kind of random and unexpected, surprising. When you have these lobbies or even last chance lobbies or final qualifiers, those can be more difficult than, again, the grand final lobbies or lobbies that are, you know every team, you know their tendencies. Like this it throws a wrench in that, and that's why these lobbies and sometimes these very good teams that have very good players and have experience tend to struggle because there's a layer and element of unpredictability in there.
Yeah, and it's sometimes hard to navigate, right? Just because
look, I like that.
If you have certain expectations, it's so hard whenever the expectation just gets instantly countered by somebody doing something completely out of the blue. That squad that is being that X factor, though, can sometimes capitalize on it, but sometimes not. And that's kind of the nature of the beast. If you've been paying attention, then you should have a pretty good idea on what's probably going to happen next too as well. As we are going to take a quick, probably about one.
No, they're going to be tomorrow.
We'll be back with the last game in just one moment.
No, see, you're gonna miss the last game because you're gonna miss the last 30 minutes of the game because you just can't handle it. I just don't know what to think about that. Storms tomorrow through. So. Winds may reach 20 to 30 miles per hour with a 90% chance of rain. May reach an inch. Storms could contain tornadoes. No, it's I wish I knew what it was. Because we're in a category 5 weather alert for tomorrow. which is the highest category alert that you can get into. So yeah, but the 20 and 30 mile per hour winds do not count tornadoes, right? That's just wind. It does, but obviously, if there's a tornado, the winds are going to be higher, right? But if it's going to be, well, it's supposed to start raining tonight. It looks like. It's wild. Okay. So here's tonight: scattered thunderstorms, 12, 13 mile per hour winds, whatever. And then you get up to here from 10 a.m. tomorrow to about 4 p.m. tomorrow or 5 p.m. tomorrow. Strong storms. Hello, TikTok. Welcome in. We're discussing weather and watching pubs. Oh yeah, the game has started.
Realistically speaking, like to that question that Matt asked you, like who is actually going to make that push and put themselves in the best position for tomorrow? Because it's a confidence builder as well, especially if you're one of the teams that are on the bottom. It's huge if you have a big game and you go into the next day much closer.
Category
to the
5 would be
than you were yesterday.
possible thunderstorms and tornadoes. Yeah, it's gonna be tornadoes and thunderstorms, but hopefully it won't be too bad.
With the good points they got from the previous round. But considering that they only got 1 point in the first 2 rounds of both Miramars combined,
Hopefully we'll make it through pretty easy without
playing really, really well, picking up a lot
strong
of kills, playing around on the edge.
damaging storms, you know.
It's better than a
But
Millie circle.
oh lord,
Not by much. This
Milta.
Very low to the south. Even more water in play this time around. Alcadizia are going to be feeling super happy with this, as are Working in Silence, another team that I think.
How are you doing, Morgan?
has shown
Welcome
some
in.
Good signs of being able to like really play into that top 4 position.
Yeah, and looking at this circle, especially for a team like Working in Silence, if I'm not mistaken, they're actually right there off to the west of Milta, so they are going to be in a strong position off the start, at least off the rip, to maybe take something valuable and put themselves in that spot where they can actually either make it to the end game or just farm.
I got my camera very small right now for these games.
We'll be in a fight with Forever very early into the first few minutes of the game.
I mean, I guess they don't want to go north. I believe. I think Forever, I think they landed shooting range last game. So this was a very south plane path, but still so odd to fight over what I would consider a non-priority compound, even, considering the circle. Even if the circle were onto this position, but a nice initial knock by Pana, pulling out some really good moments, and now with the AUG doing the same once again.
Don't push that. It's a bad push.
Definitely, back in the day, at least considered one of the god compounds, right? You have multiple pryos, you have the garage building, so good for loot, but odd that there is a fight, especially, given this early, given where we saw Foreverland last time, that there is still a fight here at this said god compound. So we'll see how this one plays out. Looks like Forever right now putting their foot on the gas with the advantage.
Oh, Jackie.
And Forever with an iron-sided AK. That is, at least he's got 2 Helm and Vest, though. He's got that working for him. And I love the AK.
Old school reference. McCoy won the very first ever.
TikTok, if you don't mind, hit some likes, spam some likes. Hit the buttons, hit all the buttons. On Twitch and YouTube, hit all the buttons.
There is a legacy. There is
the hitting the buttons on YouTube is free. Just hit the button.
It gives more power than it rightfully deserves from that alone. So Don't knock it.
I'm not knocking it. I love the AK. I just can't stand those iron sights.
You just gotta trust. You gotta trust and believe. But hey, what's better than that? A shot
Got a shotgun.
in a compound. Swing and shoot. Left click, baby. Alley holds.
No way. But a second shotgun will do the trick. So here's your reward for a nice defense there on the stairs. And I like the way he played it, sitting up on the stairs close, making sure that if there is a shotgun, he essentially barrel stuffs them. But now nades are coming in. Sortito with 2 members left. It's going to be Varus. I love the instant jump. And he stops the res. This is huge if you can get the knock.
Yeah, he was spotted by another Forever teammate across the way through the window, so very unlucky with that sight, but such a good way, as you say, to stop the res. Use the sound of the explosion to break through the glass with less chance of getting noticed. But now Panda is playing outside on the wall. Varus goes down. This is a tricky fight, but Forever seem to be holding on.
I love the way they're angling this, though. They're not overcommitting. They're cutting off angles. They made sure that the person who was knocked, which was Slump, was safe in the building. They spread out. That was just, again, very well executed by Forever. Even though the Sortito also tried to make something happen there, that was beautiful. Beautifully done by Forever.
Yeah, Forever, I mean...
That was some good plays.
To the scene. Probably seen them in scrims a fair bit last year. But coming in from the North American qualifiers into PAS 5, really good play by them. And they are showing that they might not have the same level of expectations and pedigree of like Falcons, etc., but they are not foldovers.
No, at least so far they aren't. So we'll see how they continue to maintain their position in the lobby, at least when it comes to team fights. So far, so good. As Melta and the surrounding area lumber mill has been completely overrun by multiple teams that is working in silence, Bestia, Dots. And why don't you add 55 potentially to that mix as they're coming in from the north side there where Prison is, but they're probably going to hold, at least for now. That compound's very strong that they're currently holding in, so not too much movement from them, but they should be able to also cut off some rotations if teams get a little too close. LG currently rotating in that direction towards Prison.
D holding the spot out. Milta Power teams, they love Milta Power
fix
circles.
my hair.
And
My hair is getting on my nerves sometimes.
The Alcadesia have right now, and they're not getting pushed just yet. Instead, Fireflies, they're now rotating through west of Prison and working in silence. They're in a bit more of a tricky, rattier spot. Another spread of their own east of Milta. And they're hiding under the shadow of Alcadesia.
And looking at the Melted Power teams, as you stated, yeah, we see the normal splits here. Alcadesia taking mini power. It's generally one of the strongest areas, especially if you start Melted Power, as well as the surrounding compounds and some of the 2 stories in that area as well. But even looking at Dots have already taken an aggressive split at those old phase yellows and the ones across the street at that crossroads as well. So Milta proper, as far as Milta Power, Big Power is actually completely empty. No teams have opted to take any position in that. That might change with the circle, because we didn't even mention how much water. Look at how much water is in the circle, Cammy.
Hold that thought. We'll get onto that in a second, especially if Phase 2 continues to pull the shenanigans at Phase 1 are. But right now, Gooners are setting a bridge camp. They let the first one pass. At least for a moment, there it is. They're going to strike on the second. They take Gump down, swing around, find Curry. Good covering fire, though. Curry and, I think maybe even Nick on the high ground, far to the south. So this bridge camp isn't completely unexpected. And look, they are trading it back in time.
Outlaws have found a nice off angle here to cut off that bridge. What were we saying about bridge camps earlier on Erangel? Do you remember?
We're
much more prominent on this map than almost any other map.
Yeah, exactly.
So they should be able to get Greg up, and it looks like he will.
The revive, but Nick has full sent it down onto the low ground. I think that Molly is going to hit, but it is closing the area that Outlaws really have to play with. Unfortunately, Gump won't be able to get revive, but they could potentially eliminate the entirety of Gooners, but of course, Bunt is here. Oh, sent it into Gracie. Takes Curry down. So now the advantage is pretty sizably on the side of Gooners. Spots Nick out in the open. That's not a good sign.
not a good sign at all. Yeah, Nick is just going to try to get in that vehicle and get the hell out of there, but
Hurt.
he's still going to have to wait. Prone with the M24.
I literally got white all the way around.
Headshot lands.
I only got to eat one chocolate and one powder.
They're going to have to play back.
What?
Yeah.
He's got powder
Yeah, that
donut
vehicle
all the way around.
busted up because of that
Oh,
M409.
no.
Unfortunately, they got to fit
Big.
into one.
Oh, big
single
back.
Dacia.
I mean, they can just take a boat, right?
yeah,
Look at this.
That
Potentially
one single
take a
Dacia
boat.
is not even going to last into the Milton Peninsula. They're going to have to go into a boat from Nova. I don't think they're going to be using the ferry. That might be a
Really?
bit too much, but it's
No,
a regular
ferry-
boat rotation. Should be fine.
The only issue with the boat is, you know, yes, again, you
Hey.
don't have a vehicle when you land on the beach. Like, sure, you get in the circle, you get in a good position, but working on foot as a duo in that terrain isn't always the best. But we'll see. There's
Well,
obviously chances.
Well,
He's
just
not
Depends on the
armor.
shift. That's money.
Exactly,
That is
yep,
money for
they're
them. They
hoping
take the
for a
boat, they
shift
get the
like
hell
this.
out of there.
Yeah, I was gonna say they are hoping for a ridiculous shift like this, and I think everyone.
What was the
I think
shift?
if you listen closely, you can hear across the entirety of the Western Hemisphere groans. I think if you phase one, Zalcadesia are rotating down. Dots are collecting down together. Everyone else is trying to race each other to get into the zone. This isn't even. They are hoping for a ridiculous
Oh, wow.
shift
What a zone. What a zone that
like
is.
this, and I think everyone found each other and making estimated decisions. There is one angle to get into the landmass that is still in phase 2, and so you just gotta book it and hope for the best.
Yep. And that angle is usually in this circle through other squads. So there's not going to be much avoiding these fights, especially on that coastal side on the north side where we're currently seeing Empire set up. That's a great setup early because even if it does shift away, they have terrain and they have room to work with Milton Power itself. So as we can see now, El Proyecto is going to be taking shots. Kraken not able to find the knock, but they are going straight into the open arms of Empire. As here we go, straight into the crash. Shots being fired. Finna is calling it, and they are going to park right on the other side, which means Empire now has to focus everything onto this team.
Haven sending it down into large power. I don't know if that's a scouting maneuver or something or other, but
I like that.
grenades by Finna.
Like the
Both
scout, the
zones.
opportunity.
Yeah. Look at how disgusting this circle is. Oh, this is awful.
I mean, even for a team like Outlaws, if you look at the map, they landed on the beach. I know they would have wanted to go basically where working in silences, but
Yeah.
flip side's taken, so
Yeah.
they're kind of scuffed. And look at, I mean, look at Goons. Sure, they won the bridge camp. They are last. They're going to be probably dead last into this circle.
Yeah. If any, in fact, did they even chase Outlaws into Nova? Why are they all the way down there?
Potentially looking for a boat themselves. I'm not sure.
Could be doing that too. But Adam now, Empire, they have a wide spread. They're still facing off against El Proyecto. Good damage by Haven though. Keeps Adam a little more honest. The angle of that little cement pillar that Adam is playing behind can make keeping cover very difficult.
Yeah, but the problem for Haven now is they have his position. He's been marked, and so you can see, people pouring over onto his north side as well. They will find that kill, so El Proyecto now with only 3 members up, Gizera, Kraken, and Posa, who have opted to... Where are they, actually?
They're in large power somewhere. I think
Okay,
they're trying to
yeah,
get
so
as deep
they
as
all
possible.
sent. So many
Honestly,
teams, I can't even read the names. They're all clumped on top of each other there in power.
yeah, honestly, losing one player to find a position towards
Lord.
the circle in a circle like this, I will take it. I will take it. You know it's going to pull away from the water at some point towards the west. But there really isn't all that much outside of the key power position. That's where Luminosity, they're not even going into the circle. They're just going to say, let's take some fights and get some kills. And as we've mentioned before, Luminosity, they love sending it towards center. At least they have so far today. And they won't even do that here. That's how ridiculous of a circle this is.
Yeah, it's just too big of a risk. I mean, they know there's like 5-6 teams in front of them, especially on this rotation. That peninsula there that turns into Milton Power becomes such a stranglehold for these teams trying to rotate in late. And this is unbelievable. Look at this circle. It shifts, and there's even more water in. This is gross. This is one of the most disgusting circles we have seen in even, I'm trying to think back all of last year. This one's pretty bad.
Yeah.
This one's
pretty
really
awful. Bad. it's gonna end in large power. Potentially Dangerous are in the best spot right now. They are loving this. Everyone else, it's like deathmatch at this point, I think. I don't know if there's any real strategy. It's all about communication with your teammates.
Just survive.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Just trying to survive. Fireflies, they are sending it in, trying to find somewhere to land. But this kill feed is lighting up. So many teams involved. I can't even keep track of everything.
I mean, it's just holding your quadrant, praying that your teammates and you are strong enough to do so against the invading horde that is all these teams trying to rotate in late. So far, so good here for Potentially Dangerous, as they've only lost one, and you take those trades all day. A 1 for 4 is in the business. We take those, but even still, the good news about Potentially Dangerous is they have somewhat of a room to breathe, whereas the north side of Milton Power completely under contention, but now Zvire is going to be right underneath the pull-up there of Potentially Dangerous. It's going to be non-stop, Cammy.
Yeah, Bizzler takes Finna down. That's closer towards the north. It's going to be non-stop fighting, as you just said. Grenade out by Slabby. Already done so much work for Potentially Dangerous, and it's actually going to be Gabrio's grenade that finds Rybo. So this Zvire push is going to get stalled. Zvire, I think they probably should have wanted to push into the actual warehouse itself. I think they're kind of stalled out, halfway in between, halfway out. Now they don't have a lot of room to play around with. Granted, it's so much easier said than done. I'm sitting comfortably behind a computer monitor in front of a microphone, not having to play through all of this, because quick decision making in a circle like this, like there's no right answer. So good luck making the right one.
Yeah, and I think them taking the time, they are starting to push now because they want to get rid of Zvire as quickly as possible. They had a little of extra time, I think, to afford to recover, and then immediately started to put the screws onto Zvire. So once they take care of that, they have complete control of the south of Milton Power, which is a big boon for them. So we'll see if they can capitalize. Nade will go out, Favavera goes down. Meanwhile, 55 falling here over to Alcadizia. Looks... No, not 55. The colors. Falcons.
Yeah.
My goodness.
So much green. But Kalinix finds one. Gabriel goes down. Gets confirmed. So the wounding, the damage on Potentially Dangerous is starting to get a bit too much. The stun comes out. Kalinix is blind, but another grenade stalls it out. Molly down. Kalinix is going to push through it.
Oh, ring around the rosy. He doesn't see him. So Kalinix today has been a monster, Cammy. Like an actual monster, and just one member now left of Potentially Dangerous. Meanwhile, back to the Falcons. They're going to be fighting multiple teams and rotations. They're actually going to find a couple members here of Forever, so looking for the last one. Tig. He'll make it behind the telephone pole.
Two teams angled on your position. Forever are glad to be out with even one player from that rotation. Only one kill for Falcons, one for Alcadizia, but they've survived. This is not one that you're going to complain about, a low kill count at this point in the game.
No, not at all. Especially when they started here, right? Did they not? I think around Power, so.
Alcadizia did, yeah.
Yeah, so they've been here for a while. Not surprising that they don't have many kills, especially given the circle. Falcons also, again, one kill, have only been able to get so much as came early enough to avoid all the other rotations, just not able to capitalize on the points. 55 now this time for real, I promise. And green is going to be pushing El Proyecto.
Good blue zones. Gonna make it really difficult for El Proyecto to survive at all. They're forced to jump out, but that's not getting capitalized on.
Oh, Posa had time. I don't know. Posa might have had time to just get on the other side of the vehicle and survive. Now it's just down to 2 members, but fortunately for them, it looks like 55 is still recovering from that fight. You can see now Tris is just looking for an aggressive angle in the middle of the road, though. I don't think that's it. There was a ridgeline for him to use, and that's another member down for 55.
I think the pressure got to 55 because with the double blue zone grenades, they were in a position to eliminate El Proyecto. Maybe Empire started to apply pressure and stop the push from 55, but now it's all down to Fake Uwu. El Proyecto, they're still sitting safe inside this tower. Bestia now pushing up the coastline into working in silence. Grenades at the ready by Bestia.
Okay, the back duo working solid, so need to work big to make sure they're covering their forward points. And beautiful stuff from Solds and RBN. Now just Sills in. Oh, DraftKing though with the Mark 12 in the distance will find the knock trade, but again, just down to Sills.
rolling up with the UAZ. Only option they have to try and defend and take something. Luminosity are not that far behind. They came all the way in from the north. They see this bloodbath in front of them, and they should be salivating at the potential kills here. Bestia have been full confirmed by working in silence, but Soul's going to be sticking the... couldn't even stick the revive.
He was still just a little bit in the blue. I thought he needed to move a little more. Now here comes LG, another team for working in silence to try to hold against. It is just beach warfare here.
How did LG lose a player in the back? One of their vehicles had to stop and get the revive, and that meant that it was only 2 people pushing up to working in silence. They're getting so many kills here on this coast.
It's just essentially a duo right now at this point. And another shift. There's still water in the circle, bro. There's no way. This is insane.
Yeah, I don't know what to say here. Working in silence, I don't know what they saw in their crystal ball to know that they would be successful from this position this far into the game. But here comes Falcons pulling away from Alcadesia into Luminosity. All onto Snakers, and he's able to get one. Able to take H-Win down, playing in the smoke, but his health is dangerously low. Does get taken out by his own frag grenade. I don't know if that was intentional.
I think he got knocked and it dropped. Fairly certain that was the case. I think he got naded, and then he had the nade. Either way, that's going to be tough one for LG, but they're still in 3rd place for the day. I think they will be just fine, as now Falcons need to figure out if they're just fine and how they're going to come out of this situation. 2 members knocked. Looks like Quinn is not in the best position to get res. They are trying to throw smokes, though, and recover. I do like this. I mean, if you're going to go for a play, you might as well go with as many people as possible, especially because there's no risk of detail coming into their laps when it comes to reses. But Santastico says, I don't care, and he's just going to knock Shrimpy through the smoke anyway.
Start trying to survive. At least Shrimpy got that smoke grenade drop, but Tickleton's on the revive for H-Win. So Falcons can still stay up as 4, but can they get out of this position? It is too easy. It is too comfortable for working in silence. We pull away back towards the north, where 55 were just eliminated. More blue zones into El Proyecto's tower, and Empire seem to be in a better position to capitalize on the flushing out of that tower that they're doing.
So again, Empire with an opportunity here to sweep up and clean up the circle. They've been somewhat quiet. I mean, 3 kills, but they've just made sure that the north is clean. Once they do that, then they can really start to take control.
No, but you can't have
what's
$22.
left of it in circle and start pushing their way south.
When it's time to get MLB the show, 25, we'll get it.
On the Michael, down to 5 HP, still alive somehow by the skin of his teeth. And El Proyecto are still surviving as well. A nice peek into Adam. Gizera's going to take him down.
See.
El Proyecto are not going down without a fight.
See how it works out.
He's just
he would rather confirm the kill than run out into the open because of how open this whole thing is.
Now it's just down to Kraken. That nade looks good. It is good. It's money. Michael will find it, and P will take down the rest. Directo, and only lose 1 in the process.
They're in the zone. They were actually able to pull away from working in silence. I don't know how, but they are inside the next zone with all 4 up, and they are dealing damage to Alcadesia, who are coming in a little later than them. They have an even worse ridgeline to play around. Circle.
Yeah, they're
the north
spot.
Just
and finally the water is mostly cut out. But even still, can't we got a little sliver left, working in silence on that southeastern edge.
Yeah,
and
you can still
everyone
feel an ocean breeze.
Yeah, the weather's nice, but it's not too cold. As they are just trained in on Falcons. Absolutely trained in on Falcons. And the thing that's working for Falcons currently is this little ridge that's actually keeping them covered from working in silence, but they have to move. And you can even see working in silence starting to spread. I like this proactivity from them.
Dots, they are now expanding out. They were quiet for the last couple of minutes, but they have all 4 up, or at least they did, before Michael dropped a grenade at the feet of Joshi. So many more blue zone grenades still being thrown out, but Dots are pulling back. Bliss, I don't know if he's trying to find a different separate angle, or maybe they're just unsure of the solo stragglers of Goon and Spire. But Shane's finding a double. We're finding 1, confirming Michael. Keeping the advantage on the side of Dots.
And Dots shooting themselves currently up to 9th place, right? Quiet beginnings, but in the last couple games, especially with Joshi in that last game, are really starting to come to life, and it just shows you how important momentum and confidence can be. If you are having some games that are rough, you start off slow, you wipe, you mentally reset, you come back, and I mean, look at the turnaround these boys are having right now. Falcons, again, still in trouble, though. It's just Tig and Kick left.
Yeah. Good push by Academia. I mean, they're wounded themselves, but I think they're taking advantage of the distraction that Dots have given Empire. But Kickstart still holding the angle, but here comes Working in Silence. You said it, they were spreading out. They're continuing to take control of the zone. Bliss, 2 HP, finds the headshot spray onto Valiant, even through the barrier. He's able to get that kill. Absolutely insane play by Dots. They're still in this. There are still 6 teams alive. I don't know how.
Yeah, the fact we've had a few games here where these circles have been so small, and the amount of teams, even though sure it might be a solo or duo, is pretty crazy. So we'll see now here if Falcons can once again try to just. How are they still alive? It's crazy to me. The Falcons have managed to survive this long. Working in Silence now 7 kills, wrapping the southern edge just to get rid of the Falcons once and for all.
Falcons have some uncanny way of staying alive. Like, you look away from them and you think they're gonna, maybe not die, but at least be wounded. But then it's like, oh wait, back to 4 again? How? Here comes the push. Dots find the last player. It was a fire! Cal Nix has pulled out some amazing plays, but this time around, Dots were a bit too much, but they're still icy on to the north, and Alcadesia. They've made their way up to that ridge, that border. They are now looking to take control of the exit power as we watch Falcons get completely decimated and destroyed. Working in Silence still have grenades. I don't know how, but Falcons get eliminated.
It must be from the bodies that they picked up off the beach, right? There's 2 full teams for them to loot, so not surprising they were able to find some utility here as Alcadesia finally pushing in, finally with an opportunity. Bliss is going to go down. Dot's been holding their ground as long as they possibly can, but really now it just comes down to Alcadesia making sure they clean this up properly and doing it together.
Pushing in. I mean, with the players on this squad, you know that they are going to be aggressive pushers. They're going to try and catch Dots off guard. And this swing by Rello finds one, spotted a couple of other members. Icy Flex is going to be the wild card. I don't know if Alcadesia are going to be aware of that lone solo player, but right now they are grabbing so many points. They eliminate Dots. They don't give them a chance to respond.
As they should not, and so it looks like Alcadesia with an opportunity here to take this dub. Currently with 4 kills, they're going against Working in Silence 3-on-3. Working in Silence has 12 kills currently, and then you still have 1 member of Goon, Icy Flex, surviving on the east side of this circle in Milton Power. It's crazy to me, but he played well. I mean, he's mainly just kept himself hidden as a solo, and that can be very easy to do in Milton Power with this much chaos, so props to him.
Yeah, really drawing this experience out. Hopefully he can come up with an explosive finish to end things out, but a solo player, it's going to be asking a lot. Has the advantage of Alcadesia and potentially even Working in Silence, not aware of his position, but they know the numbers of players alive. There's going to be the inkling in the back of their mind, both of these 2 3-man squads, that there's going to be a random solo somewhere.
Question is who strikes first? Because I see if Solds is the one that's going to pour over and get a knock, that's all great and good, but he doesn't have much cover, so it's really going to come down to Santastico and BL to make sure that if he is spotted, he has some form of backup. But again, Alcadesia also playing this slow, playing this quiet as they should.
Waiting for
Circle's
phase 8.
going to post. Yep, and that's when they're going to start to look for moves.
This is a pretty aggressive southern shift as far as phase 8 shifts go. There's a limit to how far they can shift, and this is probably the most that Working in Silence could have asked for here, but they're still going to be dealing against the high ground advantage that Alcadesia are going to have. Look at Icy Flex. He's looking that direction. Sure. But Icy Flex strikes, finds the first. This is going to be the upset that Working in Silence want. Icy Flex, he is gone. He is not sticking around at the scene of the crime.
Like a bandit in the night, he just gets one and gets out, and now he's going to find maybe some boxes to loot here. I don't know what he still needs. Smokes, I mean, he has 3, so utility is going to be helpful here. see how many more he can get as he's slowly starting to inch towards the north side. A blue zone grenade as well. But again, working in silence as well, realizes this. They know that it is a 3v2v1. Pressures. Oh,
D?
no! D!
The kill happened. We heard the buggy drive away. D completely caught with his pants down. That really shouldn't have happened. And now it's all up to Rello. 1 versus 1, and Icy Flex
No
does it.
way!
He confirmed second
No
place, but
way.
can he go further? 1 versus 3 against Working in Silence. Can he do this?
Impressive. Nonetheless, nope, they're going to find him, and Icy Flex goes down, but single-handedly dismantling Alcadesia and getting himself second place with 3 extra kills. Working in silence, though. What a
Good
game
for them.
Look at this kill count. Santasco 5, BL with 4, Souls with 3, RBN got his. You'll love to see it.
Yeah, that coastline position, very rarely does it really come out on top, but the nature of these circles, I don't know. I just feel bad for Alcadesia. This is what, 3 times now that they've been denied a chance at the, well, they had a chance at the win, but it was denied at the very end. So, I mean, good day for them so far, but not a single chicken dinner. That does kind of hurt.
Well, it's also annoying to get backstabbed by a rat, right? Like you lose one and then you end up just going down that road of 1v1s and then it doesn't feel good. But overall, Cadesia played great. Obviously, that roster is very strong. Just happy here for Working in Silence playing as well as they did. And then Falcons, I still don't understand how they survived as long as they did, but kudos to them. Also Empire with some good early positions. Overall, this was a great game. So we're just going to toss it to the highlights real quick. And then once we do that, we're going to come back and we're going to have an interview with you with Matrim and us and our special guests. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hey guys, so you have it. See, I don't have the total leaderboard. If I can find it real quick. Total leaderboard as of today, after today. Falcons in second. Al Qadesh, I guess that's who their name is. They're finished first today. Falcons second. Luminosity third with 51. Working in Silence, who just won the game with 50. Top 8 advance, right? So you got Dots, Bestia, Zivar, and whoever they are. I can't say that name. Can't even pretend to try. So this is day 1, right? Day 1. So tomorrow is going to be Group B and C, which is going to be these are the teams that are playing tomorrow. So out of these teams, Team Liquid, Bestia, Al Qadesh, they played today. Gooners play today. So these teams are going to play tomorrow. We're bringing in... Who is God Squad? Who are these players on God Squad? How do you find that out? Guess I have to watch it. We'll have to look at it tomorrow, see who's on this team. But Group B and C is going to be tomorrow. These are going to be your 16 teams playing. And then Group A and C, which is going to be the Falcons and that teams. The other teams that played today playing against that third set. So look forward to this. Be back tomorrow at 5:30 East Central Time. I may let it run and let it play, and then just come back afterwards and do a watch party afterwards. That way, only watch the games instead of all the talking and commercials in the middle of it. That way, it's more of a 30 minutes time. Was it 30, 60, 60, 90, 120 minutes instead of 3 hours? 2 hours instead of 3 hours? And then we'll be able to play some games or do something else. But right now, this is entirely too long, and I just can't. I'm too old for this. But let's see where we're at right now. Who is online?
The Beast or the Guardian. Sorry, the Beast, Guardian, same thing. But I have the Guardian version. Same thing, just a different.
They were simply Matt. We just watched him in Gooners just a little bit ago.
Yeah, hopefully tomorrow I get to play the game. I didn't really get to do much today. That Tango game was like the first game where I felt like I got to actually shoot my gun.
Guys, no, wait a minute. There are easier ways to get information about a place. Simply head over to apartments.com. The place to find a place. Nope.
Who's he playing with? Cosmos, Stuck Mine.
Sorry, Hunter. In green? Oh shit, he's looking at me? Fuck off.
I guess. Been fun. Appreciate everybody hanging out tonight. We'll try to do it again tomorrow, maybe. Like I said, we're gonna only do the games. I'm not going to play the I'm not gonna play the full broadcast like I did today. It was too much downtime, and I'm just not interested in listening to them talk. So we're gonna just try to watch the games tomorrow. May start out with the EMA games, and then do the America series. So we'll see y'all later. Peace. You never know what anyone's going through, so be nice to everybody. Peace out, guys.